We're back. Did you miss us? Endurance racing here at Hooton Park. 3 1-hour-long endurance sessions. Starting in second place for this one is Huddersfield. I believe we've got Alex Gunn in the car. Alex, Huddersfield narrowly missed out on a podium in round number 5. What can we do in round number 6?
We'll just have to see if we can get better luck this time. We were a bit unlucky with the kart in the last one. Ollie just didn't have any top end, so we lost out massively on that. So we'll just have to see what we can do and just hope the luck's on our side for this. So,
all right, who are you pairing up with in this one?
Joe. We've changed it round, trying a new tactic. So we'll see if it pays off.
Is that a new tactic you can divulge to us, or we're gonna have to wait and see how it unfolds?
Just have to wait and see.
Looking forward to that, Alex. Thank you very much for the interview. Air of mystique there around Huddersfield. Missed out narrowly on a podium. Perhaps they can go one better. Let's go talk to my man Kirk on this side. Kirk, right at the front again. I'm being told to wrap it up though, so just say this. You're going to win this one.
Cheers, mate. I doubt it, but I love the enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
I love you too, Kirk.
Oh, mate, stop. All you got to do is buy me a drink.
Later.
Cheap date.
All right, let's get off. Kirk there, I spoke to him earlier before his sprint race. He said I won last time. You said I'd win. I said, shall I say again? He said no. He came close to winning his race. In fact, he could have won it, but by his own admission, messed up himself. So those words of encouragement were just for him. That's not my official prediction for the race. He'll do very well to beat that Huddersfield team from there. But yeah, looking forward to this one. And afternoons of endurance racing. Ed, if you come this way a little bit, there's a car coming out of here. I'll hand back to Andrew and Howard for the afternoon's racing.
Hello everybody, good to be with you again for coverage of round 6. We're just welcoming our listeners on Mixler as well. And yeah, Andrew was talking through some of the results and things of previous round.
So yes, I owe everybody an apology. Sorry guys. We always try and say it and mention it that when we call results, it's very provisional. Apologies, Sheffield. We had not accounted for a huge number of penalties in race 4, which gave Brooks B the positions they required in that race to win the round. Congratulations to Brooks B. Puts them in a very strong position in the championship. And of course, we now roll on to the endurances. So let's run through a grid. Let's get that out of the way. Howard, take it away.
Absolutely, right. So we're not going to be talking in driver names at this point because they're in driver pairings. So on pole for this one is going to be the number 30 of Southampton B with Huddersfield A, number 6 alongside. Third on the grid will be the number 27 of Brunel B, and then Birmingham C will start 4th in the 43. Row 3 is the 60 of Leeds C and the 17 of Nottingham Trent A. Row 4 is Coventry B in the number 31, and Birmingham A in the number 10. Ninth on the grid is Oxford Brooks A. They need a really good afternoon here to keep their championship hopes alive, quite frankly. They start 9th in the number 2, then the 29 of Brighton starting from 10th. The number 15 of Southampton A is in 11th, and rounding up the 6th row of the grid is the number 4 of Nottingham A. Newcastle A start 13th in the 45, and then it's Leeds A in the number 26 starting 14th. 15th on the grid is Northumbria A in the 35 kart, and then it's the 25 of Bath A starting 16th. Warwick A in the 16 and Exeter B in the 54 make up row 9. Row 10 is Newcastle B and Oxford Brooks D, that's the 66 and the 50 respectively. The 36 of Kingston A start 21st, with the 13 of UWTSD Swansea starting alongside to round out row 11. Row 12 is Coventry A, they'll be in the number 14, and then Brooks B, who, well, they are the team to chase basically now in the championship following that last round. They had 2 sprint round victories in a row, which really put them in this title. The number 11 A, round out the 12th round. There's Leeds Beckett A 25th in the 33, the 12 of Sheffield A 26th, 24 of Liverpool A 27th, the 21 of Huddersfield B 28th, the 72 of Cranfield A is 29th on the grid. 30th is the number 8 of Exeter A, The 20 of Birmingham B starts 31st. The 32nd spot on the grid is the 18 of Loughborough C. Then it's the 40 of Nottingham C starting 33rd. The 47 of UEA starting 34th. And then Loughborough A in the number 1 and Loughborough B in the 49 round out the 36 kart grid. And as I say that, are we good for a start? We are indeed. So already we're underway here at Hooton Park, and already to the front goes Huddersfield A. I believe that's Alex Gunn at the wheel of that one. So great start for him there. Oh, and there's spinners at the back. The 36, isn't that? I believe that's Kingston off the top of my head. Have been involved in an incident there. So spinners, it's not an entirely clean start, which is a shame because that's exactly what you need for an endurance race such as this. 1 hour, remember, this format with pit stops, which we shall discuss as we go along. But right now, it's Huddersfield A leading I believe Southampton B have managed to retain second. We'll confirm that as they come across the line. Indeed it is Huddersfield A from Southampton B. Nottingham Trent A and Birmingham A had good starts there. Birmingham C down to 5th, 6th is Leeds C, Brighton is 7th, Coventry B is 8th, 9th, and there's already a penalty for Huddersfield A for a jump start. My goodness, it's been a while since we've seen one of them. I'm trying to remember what the penalty is for a jump start. I believe Mr. Mather is on the case. So, I thought they did well to get to the front there. Is that Alex Gunn's helmet? It is.
It is.
Yes, indeed. So, Alex Gunn deemed to have accelerated before the lights went green. Costly for them. He sees the penalty there. Slight shake of their head there.
Rule 10.2.5, any driver gaining positions prior to the start of the race, i.e. jump starting, will be penalised with a 10-second time penalty at the end of the race per grid road change. Change for the lead.
Yeah, it was indeed. Southampton B getting past Huddersfield A. And I think, is this Nottingham Trent? No, it's the 17. Yes, it is the Nottingham Trent car. The 17 trying to buy into this. Southampton B driver gesturing to say, let's work together here.
In the chaos of this morning, another apology that I owe is Nottingham Trent, as they are now challenging Huddersfield A down the straight and take second place. And Simon Morton, great move there for Birmingham A through to third. Nottingham Trent, do we reckon that's their first ever overall podium?
I believe
in a round.
I believe it might be, yes. I'd agree with that. I should just mention as well, University of West England A have just had an advantage by contact penalty, as have Loughborough B. So these teams already. Now JV did have a bit of chat about. I mean, we called the wrong result as a result as penalties. Side by side goes Simon Morton in the 10, and Nottingham Trent is through. Lovely bit of action there over second place. Brilliant job so far by Birmingham A. Yeah, Southampton B gesturing behind him to say, let's work together. I wouldn't bet on that. I think both Birmingham A and Nottingham Trent A are looking racy here. But yes, you know, we called the result wrong as a result of penalties. And the worst is a contact warning for Birmingham A and the University of West England A, who have already picked up an advantage by contact penalty. These penalties are coming in quicker than I can talk about them. JV did have a word with the drivers in the lunch break. Please try and be a little bit more courteous out there and careful out there. The rain did materialise between 1 and 2, but it didn't really affect track conditions. Simon Morton goes for the lead. Birmingham A up to the lead there. Just got a good drive off the corner, was it? And Nottingham Trent followed them right through. So Southampton B down 2 positions in one straight there. As was that acknowledging a yellow? No, no yellows out 3 there. As there's a cone penalty for Newcastle A. Indeed, I'm going to start recording these penalties because they're already coming in thick and fast. So I have got my spreadsheet of.
Our own spreadsheet.
We haven't named it yet. I don't know if I can have the spreadsheet of doom. 2. Yeah. We're going to gloss over the unfortunate acronym that spells out. So. Yes, so we've already had. Oh goodness me, they're coming through quite quickly now. Right. I'm going to go quiet for a moment.
But yes, so the pit window opens in 30 seconds time. Birmingham A, I'm afraid to say we're one of those teams that, due to penalties, did not do as well as they perhaps could have done this morning. I reckon they could have had an overall podium had they not had penalties in their earlier races. They weren't the only ones. Huddersfield A amongst those as well. But here they are early in this race, leading well, and Nottingham Trent, fresh off their 3rd place in round 5, started this round very, very well. Southampton B, that might be Kirk Langley. I think it is Kirk Langley back at the wheel. He ran very, very well earlier on. Cone penalty for the number 29, which is Brighton. The pit window is now open.
It is. Now, this could be a difficult one for me to keep track of, if I'm honest, because it's sort of looking perpendicular onto the exit road of the pit lane.
None of the leaders pitting. Huddersfield in. Huddersfield in. I was expecting that one. This is a strategy that they've run before, and they've run well. Now, they're not in the lead. They've not got clear track. For me, that's the right decision for them. Now, the question is, can they get this pit stop done well?
That's interesting, actually, because they were interviewed on the grid, I believe, and as Brighton gets a cone
Another
penalty.
cone penalty.
And, yeah, they were talking about strategy. As they emerge, and they haven't done a driver change.
That's another one that I'd expect.
Yeah.
Oxford Brooks A appear on the scene. Number 2. And I think it's Gareth Haynes at the wheel of that one. Apologies, I always get him and David confused, but running well. This is a good start for Oxford Brooks A. This is what they need. If they're going to win this championship, they need to have really strong rounds all the way through as the 27 completes a pit stop. Looks like Brighton have pitted as well. So if you're new to the BUKC and you're new to this form of endurance racing, in theory, as the number 16 looks up the inside of the 43 for 14th place, that's Warwick A going past Liverpool. In theory, when the pit window, the 2 pit windows, when the first one opens, that's the best time to pit, because as per the rules, any pit stop at any time in the race, as there's a cone penalty for the number 17 Nottingham Trent A, any pit stop, the full fuel tank gets brimmed to the top. Pit early, you've only got a little bit of fuel tank to brim up to the top because you've only been running for 5 minutes. Pit later, you've got to run more fuel into the tank. And then on the flip side, well, why don't teams run long then? Even if you pit right at the end of the race, you've got to be topped up right to the top, so it's not a benefit there as much. It can work if good pace is used and clear air is used well. We do see it sometimes, but it's a higher risk strategy. It's out of the pits. Couldn't quite catch who that was coming out of the pits. It was the number 12. So it's Sheffield 8. They've made a pit stop. 47 you can see there. They're already a lap down. That's the University of West of England. And actually holding up now, the number 35 of Denholm Smith.
Loughborough A have pitted, if we haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, they have. But Denholm Smith, fresh off his victory, but losing a place there. That looks like it was to the number 30. That was Kirk Langley. Southampton A having a little look at Oxford Brooks A there. They just need to be nice and consistent. As I say, they need good results, but they don't need to... They don't want to throw everything at this. They don't want to hamper themselves early with a spin or a penalty. You can see Loughborough A in the mix there. They have already made their pit stop, so watch out for them coming back through the field. But good start here for Birmingham A. 3.1 seconds already the lead for Simon Morton. Looks like Oxford Brooks A. Oxford Brooks A are in, Howard. So look out for this time. In come former championship leaders. It's their teammates in the Oxford Brooks B kart who are in the lead of the championship now, of course, 14th.
Sheffield A, something...
something's wrong.
That was 3 minutes 14, that last lap time. They were in the pits, but... So that's not quite right.
Battle for second on the road then. Still Southampton B and Northumbria A. They've got the Oxford Brooks D kart just ahead of them. And then Southampton A just behind. And in fact, there's a move, yes. And into the pits comes Southampton B. but a move there by Denholm Smith just before Southampton B headed for the pit lane. More good running done again by Birmingham A. The lead is now 4.5 seconds as the rest of the field comes through. You can see Tom Thickpenny there in the Loughborough kart, looking for a good result for them. They're another team that really, they haven't had a disastrous round yet, but they've dropped points already with a couple of 5ths and 6ths along the way in the championship. They need to have a strong one in this round as well.
ABC penalty, Andrew, for our championship leaders. Brooks B, they've just received an ABC out there. So they need to be careful with that.
5.1 seconds. Simon Morton absolutely flying. This is just the kind of response that I've been looking from Simon up here in the comms box. A really good start to this race. Championship order for those of you just joining us, with 5 out of 8 rounds complete. This is the start of round 6. Oxford Brooks B lead the championship as, who was that going into the pit lane? Apologies, didn't quite catch that one. As through past Liverpool A goes Northumbria A. Oxford Brooks B lead the championship then at this stage of the season with 342 points. Loughborough A is second, Huddersfield A third, but both of those teams, well, Loughborough A are 5 points down now on the B team. Huddersfield A are 10 points down on the Oxford Brooks B team, and Oxford Brooks A, for those of you wondering, are a further point behind that. Nottingham A 5th, Birmingham A 6th, Warwick A 7th, Southampton A, Brooks C and Exeter wrapping up the top 10 at the moment. The challenge in intermediate though is ridiculously close. King's College A after round 5 are sitting on 249 points, just ahead of Huddersfield B on 248. Liverpool A and Newcastle A are both on 247, so the top 4 teams in intermediate going into this round covered by 2 points. And there's one of them there, Josh Gollin for Liverpool A. There was a cone penalty spotted there for Oxford Brooks D. And Oxford Brooks D having a look at Josh Gollin, and great straight line speed there for Oxford Brooks D. And my goodness me, Josh Gollin loses 3 positions there in one straight. And now Tom Thickpenny's coming through as well, and I think that might even be a move for position. Yes, I think it is. But still Birmingham A leading this one then. 5.7 seconds clear of Northumbria A. Leads Beckett A up to 3rd. Warwick A 4th. Oh, someone's just smashed the plastic bollards there through the shakies.
I thought you were going to say smashed the lap record.
And through goes the number 18 on the 50. That's for 20th place on the road. That's Oxford Brooks D losing out to Loughborough C there. Loughborough C, winners of intermediate. The intermediate class this morning in the sprint round. I'm just looking for where they are in the championship. They're currently 40th. They've had a bit of a up and down season so far. Cone penalty, crucial on this, Loughborough A. So it was Loughborough A and Tom Thickpenny smashing those bollards out of the way. And that's going to be a 5-second penalty added to Loughborough A's time.
Already then, Andrew, a large amount of penalties to be factored into this, and some of them for our key championship teams.
So 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes gone of this one. Still Birmingham A leading, but the lead's starting to come down slightly now. 4.7 seconds now ahead of Denholm Smith and Northumbria A.
All is not well.
Go ahead, Howard.
All is not well at Nottingham C. Just a bit of housekeeping there. They just had a slow pit stop lap, 3 minutes long, similar to what Sheffield had a moment ago.
Do keep your comments coming in on both the Facebook and the YouTube streams. We can see the YouTube comments now as well. Hello to Ant Jackson. who's asking about engines. Are they TKMs? Yes, they are. So TKM BT82, 115cc two-stroke engines in all of these karts, as there's the number 49 making a pit stop. Contact warning for the 21. Cone penalty for the number 14, Coventry A. Started this season so brightly, but it's just not going their way this year. There they are, the number 14. So Birmingham A looks to me as... Oh, there's another cone penalty for Coventry A, so that's 2 in quick succession. Looks to me, Howard, like Birmingham A are trying to make the long strategy, so the one where you get out front and you just sit out there and use the free air, the clear air that you have at the front of the field. Looks like they're trying to use that. However, they've just come up on a load of traffic, and the key one I think we need to look at is Huddersfield A. Huddersfield A pitted very, very early. They're currently 12th on the road, but they're over a lap behind. So leader currently up behind the 21. Trying to put a lap on them. Just remind myself who the 21 is. It's Huddersfield B.
I think Birmingham A may be thinking of pitting soon, Andrew. The Birmingham B team pitted. All the other Birmingham karts have been pitted now, so the focus for the Birmingham squad is the Birmingham A kart. So
Hearing from down in the pits, Jacob down in the pits, that Birmingham might be preparing for a pit stop here. Contact warning comes in for the 27 Brunel B. But it will be a good time, I think, to get this A kart in, because they're stuck here. They're very much stuck behind the Huddersfield B kart. No blue flags, remember, in the BUKC, and that's a good move there by Simon Morton to get through. Let's see if he goes in on this one. No, keeps going round. And there's a hand signal, so I reckon we're going to see Birmingham A into the pit lane on this lap. But he lost a second there to Northumbria A as the traffic is costing them there. Warwick A still running as well in third, although it looks like they've just made a pit stop. Does look like Birmingham A are going to make a pit stop. Hopefully we're going to be able to get some news from the pit lane, as into the pits comes Birmingham A for this pit stop, and we're going to pass down to Jacob in the pits.
Yes, Andrew, Birmingham have just come in. Rihanna Percox is the driver jumping in. They've dropped the fuel cap. This is a disaster. Luckily, she's picked it up just in time not to lose any time whatsoever. Screwing it back on now as they push off. Slight issue getting it back on, but they are away. She's still screwing it on. It's not the best of starts for Birmingham, I would admit. That could cost them. They only had a 5-second lead before they came in. I'm going to try and grab the driver who's just come out. He's not looking my way, and I'm worried about the camera signal issues, but come down this end. We're struggling for signal a bit. How is it out there?
It's basically bone dry as long as you stay online. Yeah.
What are your chances of winning this race, do you reckon? Rihanna's pretty quick.
Rihanna's got, she's got the main chunk of the race. She's got the main leg. She'll bring it home, I'm sure of it. She's really good. Could I have a quick shout out, by the way?
Absolutely.
Okay, could I have my girlfriend Holly watching, all my family watching, and the Bullock boys, you know who you are.
Fantastic. Hello to all of those. Back to Andrew and Howard now in the studio.
The pit lane. There's your new leader, Northumbria A, the number 35, Denholm Smith, as there's a penalty for the 21 Huddersfield B kart. 17.317 seconds in the lead, although there's just been a change there as Exeter A retake the lead. And just for the folks at home, don't worry about Birmingham A falling down what appears like a full lap there. That's actually a timing thing, because I don't think there's a timing loop in the pit lane.
No.
We've been seeing that with most of the teams so far. But crucially, Howard, Birmingham A look like they've re-emerged back ahead of Nottingham and back ahead of Huddersfield.
Yes, but they've lost out to Southampton A.
Ah, yeah, good spot.
What I think. Southampton A have pitted. So, of the teams that owe us a stop, Northumbria A owe us a stop, Exeter A owe us a stop, UWTSD Swansea owe us a stop. We have seen them do late pit strategies before this season, and Exeter B owe us a stop. So I think that Southampton A will be your net leaders come the end of this pit window.
And very, very good work by those guys. I can hear down from the pit lane that it looks like 35 from Northumbria A might be preparing for a pit stop. We'll wait and see for that one. 1 minute 50 in effect was the pit stop affected lap times for Birmingham A, and there's something that you do sometimes see in the BUKC, a faster driver tapping on the helmet of a slower driver to say, please use your brain. Not too happy there with the Huddersfield B driver, who has had penalties already. Denholm Smith, 2 wins this season so far in sprint racing. Northumbria just going to look for where they are in the championship, 11th place heading into this round. So, you know, looking at the best improvements, Howard, I think Northumbria A have got to be up there. 35th in the championship last year, already solidly in the top 15, and getting better and better as they're going through this season.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always good to see these teams working their way up. Just to confirm, those 4 teams at the head of the field, as I say, because of the timing loop in the pit lane characteristic of this track, those are the only 4 teams yet to pit, so Exeter leading it late for both of their teams. Southampton A, though, we believe when this is all worked itself out with the pit stops, our leaders set the fastest lap of the race, and is that the fastest of the day?
It's got to be.
38.909, that is a blisteringly good lap. So, you know, we're in the afternoon now, the second round of racing here. Drivers really getting to grip with this circuit now, which has been dry for a number of hours now. We did start with slippery conditions, but no, now we're back to, now we've reached pretty much a fully dry circuit. That said, you can see on the exit of corners there's still very boggy ground out there. As I say, that's Coventry and Sheffield. Coventry A and Sheffield A off. My goodness me, that's into the final corner.
Coventry were up around 16th place. Sheffield A down in 35th. So the 2 of them have come to blows, quite similar to the incident that we saw for Exeter earlier this morning in round 5. The grass is just so wet after the heavy rain that we had last night. Pretty much over, it felt like, well, anywhere where I drove last night seemed to have heavy rain. But you go off today and you just keep going on this grass. You just do not slow down at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That is a car that has just emerged from the pit lane. It's 13, so UWTSD Swansea have done their pit stop.
So we're just waiting on Northumbria A and Exeter B now to complete their pit stops. Just saw Joe Bleakley and the Oxford Brooks B team go through the front of shot. Oxford Brooks B currently 21st. So could this be the start of another story where this championship, which has already gone back and forth a couple of times this season, Oxford Brooks B, our 3rd difference championship leader through this season, after their teammates in the A team led from qualifiers up to the end of round 3, and then Loughborough took the lead of the championship from the results of round 4. Brooksby took the championship lead this morning, but not having the best of results so far in the middle of the pack. Well, it sounds like we've got some more info from the pit lane. Let's pass down to Jacob Harris down to the pit lane and see what he's got for us.
Denham Smith
For the
from Northumbria. Denham,
Excellent.
nearly a 20-second lead there. Do you reckon you can maintain that over the course of the race?
Yeah, I hope so. I've got Jamie Henderson at the car at the minute. He's pretty quick, so I think he should be able to hold on. He's been pretty good around here so far today. And we did 15, oh sorry, he did half an hour yesterday. He was pretty quick, so I think we should be able to hold on to it.
I've not seen King's College get any penalties so far. You've been behaving yourself out there?
Yeah, I've been trying my best, staying off the curbs, staying off of the drivers, you know, that kind of business.
That's what we like to hear. Good luck for the rest of the race.
All right, thank you very much.
Andrew Howard, back to you. What's going on out on track?
Brianna Percox and Abu Sahel. Abu racing for Cranfield in this one. And this is actually a battle for position. Looks like Lewis Bickers going up the inside and takes that position. Lewis Bickers takes second place away from Birmingham A. Black flag though for the 31 Coventry B kart. Now where were they in the order? They were high. They were up in 9th place. But that black flag, I'm gonna guess it's for an ABC takeout. Yes it is. Is going to drop them out of contention. There's your battle for second place then. Nottingham and Birmingham, two stalwarts of this championship.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been furiously filling in a pit sheet in order to inform you all that everyone's pissed. But no, that was interesting, wasn't it? We saw Huddersfield doing the very early stop. UWTSD seemed to still quite like doing the late stop. Slight change, I think, of tack from Birmingham to be doing a stop that late on.
Kind of in the middle.
Yeah, sort of in the middle, yeah. Interesting idea. As you were saying at the start of the race, mate, theoretically the best strategy, of course, is to pit early, as I think I just heard as there's a penalty for Kingston. Now that's on top of the cone penalty that they already have. I'm also keeping on my spreadsheet all of the penalties that are being awarded, which, by the way, is quite extensive already. We're not even halfway through this race yet. And as I say that, there's an
Good to
ABC
hear the drivers were switched on at round 6 drivers briefing.
Yes. Anyway, an ABC penalty there for Southampton B. In fact, you know what? When we hit the half hour, I should do a run through of all the penalties thus far, because they are important to bear in mind, because they will all come into play here. And, you know, the drivers will spread out slightly more over the course of the hour, so sometimes the penalties aren't quite as expensive, but they're still what you want to avoid.
Saying that though, the spread, top 16, all still on the lead lap, 40 seconds. That's pretty competitive for an endurance. Sometimes we see that as the Brighton kart runs a bit wide. I just wonder with the nature of this track, Howard, it's probably is it the shortest track that we'll visit this year?
Yes.
A lot of teams seem to be tripping over one another. 36 karts out there. That's a lot of karts out there.
It is.
In particular for Huddersfield, where they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to get past a couple of karts there. I don't think any of that was for position, or was it? No, it was for position, because that's Northumbria A they've just taken past there. Warwick A in there as well with Ben Street. There was another penalty. Was that Coventry A that I saw?
It was.
But yes, it seems like the traditional pit early, gain from it strategy just hasn't worked for a lot of the teams. You see Huddersfield A. Remember back at Buckmore Park, they ran this strategy so well we didn't even notice them playing it. It gained them masses of time at a place like Buckmore Park where everything's a bit more spread out. But here, I don't think there's as much to be gained from it. I think track position, from what I've seen so far, is more important. Oh dear, Colin the Cone, Mark II, has been well and truly destroyed.
He may soon need a Mark III.
Well, he's already got added protection. I think Dave Whitehouse mentioned it earlier. But poor Colin the Cone has had a bit of a tough day.
I should say, just adding to your point there, mate, yes, it is densely packed because it is a short lap. And the thing to bear in mind on that as well is you were saying how there were 16 karts on the lead lap. It's now actually gone to 15 because Brooks B have just been lapped. To have that many karts on the lead lap on a lap this short,
yes,
is impressive. So this is very close endurance racing that we're seeing right now, as there is a contact warning for Birmingham A, who are your third place runners, of course. There they are, and then you have the 17 in Nottingham Trent a couple of seconds back from that, working their way through that gaggle of karts that you can see. There's the number 4, that's our second place kart. And 5 seconds up the road from Lewis Bickers there in the Nottingham kart is the Southampton A effort, your current leaders, and still holding on to the fastest lap of the race, 48.909. So, yeah, it's densely packed. It's funny, actually, if you look at the circuit tracker at the moment, which you can do so by going to live.alphatime.co.uk/BUKC, you can see there's actually a lovely little gap in the field. It's just too short of a lap, and it's too fast-paced to, you know, do proper pit strategy and work out where you're going to drop back out. So it is difficult to do. You know, Andrew was talking about how the quickest strategy is to do, as there's a penalty for exit B, is to do the early stop, and yet there are only two fuel bowsers. You don't want to be held up there, for example. And yes, track position can help a lot, and this, you know, if you come out the pits, it doesn't matter if you pitted early. Any time you gain from supposedly, you know, through the fuel tankers. Was that Rihanna off? Was that Birmingham A off? I just saw?
Falling down the order. Oh dear,
me.
It's not good news for Birmingham.
That's turn 7, that's the final corner.
And I hope Rihanna's all right. She's looking a bit shaken up. That looked like she's gone into the wall, and gone into the wall hard there. But Birmingham A, such a shame for them. They were up in 3rd place, running a really good race. Rihanna's getting a bit of help now from one of the marshals, but this is going to put Birmingham a long way down the order, off the lead lap. Oh, real shame. Real shame, that.
That is unfortunate for them. They had an okay morning, though I'm sure they would have liked slightly fewer penalties. But shall we have a review of the half-time penalties and incidents and accidents? So, Brooks B have a penalty for advantage by contact. In fact, all the following have penalties for advantage by contact, which is 10 seconds to be added at the end of the race. Brooks B, Nottingham Trent A, Southampton B, University of West of England A, Loughborough B, and Exeter B all have an advantage by contact. Coventry B have an advantage by contact, take out black flag, so that's why they're well down the order. Cone penalties, Loughborough A, Brighton, Newcastle A. Oxford Brooks D, Coventry A have 2 cone penalties and have had it off. Oh, are we down to pit lane, Andrew?
Might be heading down to the pit lane. We'll see in a moment.
Okay.
No, sorry, we're not heading down to the pit lane now.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yes, Coventry A are having a race to forget. 2 cone penalties. They had an off, of course, with Sheffield, and advantage by contact.
Sorry, we are now passing down to the pit lane. I believe there's news from Birmingham.
Disaster, Andrew. Birmingham Arena, they're having to change carts. Rihanna came in unexpectedly and ripped the number plate off the front of her cart. She's now got in one of the spares. Unfortunately for Birmingham, this is going to be a major dent to their hopes of winning this race. They're still trying to get the pins on the number plate, but she's back out now. Birmingham in this race now surely drop further down the order. Let us know how they get on.
As our listeners and viewers on Facebook and YouTube rejoin us, that's dropped Birmingham Howard from 3rd place all the way down to 35th. Apologies, Howard's not got his right headset on because he's listening to Jacob down in the pits. That's rotten luck for Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely gutting for them. Meanwhile, by the way, I have to mention as well, Exeter B just got a black flag for 2 advantages, 2 times ADC. But yes, no, that's very harsh. We didn't quite see what led to that incident, did we? But switched carts, Birmingham A have now, back out. Unfortunately, there aren't any drop scores. If you want, I know it sounds weird, but if you want that to happen at all, you want it to happen in sprints because you get the drop score. Here, there's no such joy. As Leeds A join the rank of people with a cone penalty. I'm not sure how interesting it is to everyone to hear all these penalties, but did I mention Kingston A have a cone penalty and an advantage by contact penalty? Huddersfield A are still carrying their penalty for a jump start, of course.
Yeah.
Birmingham A have had an off, we've just seen that. And Sheffield A, of course, with the other kart involved in that off we saw with Coventry A. That's all of your dramas in the race so far.
Next pit window is now open, and into the pits comes, hang on, oh no, that's the driver coming in. Loughborough are in, Tom Thickpenny in then. Now I was trying to see, was the pit stop for, I couldn't quite see whether it was test carts going in or a competitor cart. We'll see in a moment. Howard, I believe you're back on pit watch again.
I am on pit watch, and here indeed is the camera on pit watch. So you can see the number 1 of Loughborough and the number 8 of Exeter there, and it's pretty much a dead heat away actually, which is going to be interesting out of the pit lane.
So Loughborough A were at halfway. Now we've had a couple of changes since then. We've had Birmingham have the incident where they've fallen off the road, for example. Loughborough A were 10th.
Exeter A had a terrible exit there, by the way, and indeed he stalled again on
pit exit.
No. Disaster for Exeter.
And this is what happens when the pressure's on in the BUKC. Oh, this is rotten luck for Exeter. They were running confidently in the top 10, but this is going to ruin their chances.
I tell you what, Andrew, that's not great for anybody else exiting the pit lane right now,
Ooh,
because it's
yes.
a very short pit exit. So there isn't a lot of opportunity to spot that and think about cutting across. There is a car exiting there. That was the 36 of Kingston, I believe. So they managed to navigate the obstruction, but it's a bit risky there.
And the pusher cart comes in just about time. And Exeter get up and running again. Oh, but that's a critical error. A critical error for Exeter A. And is one of those, as you say, Howard, in these endurance rounds, the penalties for things going wrong just even greater because you don't have the drop scores for the individual races in these enduro rounds. I'm just looking at how Exeter were heading into this round in 10th place in the championship, but their place is going to be under threat now from the likes of Northumbria and Leeds. I don't think Leeds are in this one, but we'll look out for them later.
Leeds A are in this one.
Oh, they are in this one. How are they doing?
They've just done their second stop, I believe, as have Southampton B.
Well, Southampton A lead the race now. We haven't talked about them in a while. Started the season really well, 3rd in their qualifier that got them into the mains championship. Since then, though, it's been a bit up and down as Oxford Brooks D have completed their pit stop. And look at this battle between the rivals. Oxford Brooks A taking the position there away from Loughborough A. Is this the start of the battles we've seen these two have before? Looks like Birmingham B are trying to get involved in there as well. Yeah, they do so, the number 20. So Oliver Wedden having a lot of pressure on his hands right now. He's got the Cranfield kart down there as well. There's the number 15, and that's your leader. That is the leader, Zach Nixon, getting in. Now he's got to get a good drive away. He's got away from the pits. So the leader completing their pit stop, and Nottingham A now go to the lead of the race. But Southampton, bit of an up and down season so far. They did get a round podium in round 3. But 22nd this morning for Southampton. So they have pretty much used up their drop scores already. What you got for us, Howard?
Interesting strategy being played out by Northumbria. They were one of our later pitters in the first stint, but here they've actually been one of our first pitters. of this stint. So a slightly unusual strategy in that sense. You usually see balance in these strategies. I wouldn't say it's massively unusual, but it is somewhat unusual to see that.
18's in. This is the Loughborough C kart. Won the intermediate class in the sprint round this morning. Contact warning for the number 40. Now, who have we got here? This is the battle between the University of Wales, Trinity St David, Swansea and Oxford Brooks A.
Andrew, Sheffield have just had another poor pit stop. 2-minute lap. They're at the very back, of this field right now.
Brooks A are in. And I do believe we can pass down to the grid, to the dummy grid rather, in the pit lane as Oxford Brooks A make their pit stop.
In the pit lane, Brooks are making their stop from second place. Not a great day for them so far. But into the car, I believe, goes Matt Lewis. Matt's from around here. He can do a job, we know. Let's have a quick chat to whoever's jumped out of the car. Come here. We're going to have a quick chat if we can. Who have we got? I can't quite see.
Gareth.
Gareth, how's it feel out there? Second place currently?
I didn't really know where I was till you just told me, but yeah, it's feeling good, feeling all right. I don't know how far we are off the lead really, but Matt's quite capable and very quick, so hopefully he'll bring it home.
I don't think we've ever gone a live stream day with it this long without talking to Oxford Brooks A. What's happened?
We've just had some kart problems. The first race of the day we had a flat tyre on the kart and just been struggling on the straight line with a couple of the others really.
Alright guys, I love the moustache. Gonna give that a quick little rub by there. And I'm going to head back to Andrew and Howard.
Because of course we count qualifiers in that as well. Brooks B, as our listeners on Facebook and YouTube are back with us. But yes, just as we're saying, we're just looking at the 4 best round scores that teams have got so far. So if we kind of drop the 2 worst for now. Brooks A, Brooks B, Loughborough and Huddersfield A teams, all covered by 5 points at the moment. So in that way, the championship is still very, very close.
Yeah, oh definitely, absolutely. And do you know what, I was thinking about this during the break, Andrew. I'm struggling to think of a year. There have been years when it's been close, don't get me wrong, as we were talking about earlier today for those listening to the broadcast of round 5.
Leaders in.
Okay.
Sorry, Howard, that's Nottingham making their pit stop, their second pit stop.
But yeah, definitely it's gone down to the wire before, but to remember a year when it's stayed this open for this long, I'm struggling to recall a year when it was this open at this point in the championship. There are a good few teams who are in this title fight, and it really could go any which way over the course of the next 3 rounds.
Here's something I've not said for a while. Really good to say it. Leeds Beckett A lead in the BUKC. And look at, oh, there's someone off at the last corner. I'm really, really happy with Leeds Beckett A because they're one of those teams that had this great rise. They had a great batch of drivers there. And sometimes we see teams, when those drivers graduate, as the number 20 of Birmingham B makes a pit stop, they kind of unfortunately fall back the order. That really isn't the case with Leeds Beckett A, and I think it's a credit to them as a club that they've developed drivers to be able to take on. Yes, they're not at the front where we saw them 2 years ago, but here they are, mid-race, going through the pit stops, and they lead this race fully through their own talents. It's really good to see.
Yep, we often mention Exeter as our most improved squad of last year, but the year before that was Leeds Beckett A. Of course, they really came to the fore in that 2016 season. And yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. It's always good to see those teams get there and stay there.
Battle for the effective lead. Just looking at the timing, Southampton A led at the halfway stage. They're only, well, about 2 seconds ahead. In fact, that's going to be less because look at the amount of traffic that Zach Nixon's got at the moment, Howard, in the number 15. With the number 4 of Nottingham bearing down on them.
Yep, this absolutely is in reality, the battle for the lead of the race. As you say, once this final round of pit stops work themselves out. I'm not sure we've actually mentioned the pit windows yet so far, so there is 2 stops that each team have to do. And they have to do one between 5 and 25 minutes into the race, and then the other pit window is between 35 and 5 minutes into the race. So there's a good 10 minutes yet for those teams who have yet to complete their second stop to do so. When they do so, they have to, as Andrew was saying earlier, they have to bring that tank. So you can't go in and short fuel yourself if you come in towards the end of the race, which is why the theoretical best strategy is to pit early.
Look at this though. This is the leader in amongst a gaggle of traffic, and it's quite quick traffic as well, because you can see Oliver Wedden in there for Loughborough A. And all of these drivers just need to be very careful that they don't trip over one another. Loughborough B making a pit stop. Leeds Beckett 8, there are your leaders on the road, or were leaders on the road. They're making their pit stop now as Warwick A come to the front. So Warwick A, who did very well in the endurance rounds last time out at Wilton Mill, Sam Cobb and Ben Street took a victory for them in one of their races. In comes the 72 Cranfield A. They're ineligible in this race, remember though, so in terms of points, count them out of it. But there. Oh, it's Charles Teixeira tripping over one of the back markers there. Needs to be a bit careful. That was right in front of the leader as well. There is Zach Nixon.
I feel like Coventry A may have had some kind of drama, Andrew. They pitted, but they've also had a slow lap on top of that, by my records. So I'm wondering if Coventry A, having a race that's going from bad to worse, is a penalty for X to B for...
it was X to B.
It was X to B. 54. Well, what was it for, mate? You know?
Apologies, 1 second. It was... Oh, it's not actually come up on my screen yet.
Okay.
Apologies.
That's fine. Sometimes it happens.
Black flag. Ah, it just got a lot worse for X to B.
That's their second black flag of the race.
Oh dear.
Just throwing that out there. Maybe a bit of a team talk needed at that one.
Number 4, Nottingham A, making their way through the traffic very nicely. And through there, through the bulk of it now. And that was good driving. That's just nice, patient driving, just what you need in endurance racing. It could have been quite easy for drivers to trip over one another whilst that group of karts, which is starting to fragment now, came through the order. And do believe we can pass down to the pits to see who Jacob's got for us. Jacob, over to you.
Down in the pit lane, winners last time out, Warwick A are pitted. Sam Cobb jumps back in the kart. Ben Street's just come out of his stint and hopefully going to come over to me for an interview. As soon as he locks eyes with me, I'll give him a quick wink and he'll make his way over. Unfortunately, Ben Simpson is chatting with him and we've not been able to over and grab him momentarily. We got 54 coming in the pits as well. I believe that is Exeter B. That looks to be a penalty to me. But Ben is now coming to join us. Hey Ben, how's things?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Sam was waiting for quite a while there. Did you just ignore the people calling you in?
No, he was just ready early on. So because I was in a train, he was going to try and get me in early. But we're not in the fight for the lead, so I just did my full stint.
I think you pitted from 3rd place, so you know you're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. You're not got hopes for a podium though.
No, I got taken out, so I thought we'd be way down the order.
According to the times, you were 3rd when you came in, so not too bad. Last time out, obviously you won an endurance race and you were on the podium. Not expecting as much this time?
Well, no, because I got taken out, didn't I? So I think we got a good pace. The kart's good as well. Just a bit unlucky, really, with an unfortunate incident. So,
how much fan mail did you receive after that race win?
Not a lot. I didn't get any. No.
I sent you one. I sent you a congratulations letter.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Have you moved house?
No, you never sent one, did you?
Yeah, I know. Genuinely did. Signed it with a kiss.
Well, I've got no fan mail, mate, so what can I say? But,
check at the post office. I write you one every race. Even when you don't win. Well, this one was extra special because you did.
Well, thanks, mate. That means a lot for me. It means a lot.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll catch up on that later. Thanks for coming and having a chat with us. Andrew, Howard, what's going on out on track?
For everyone on Facebook and YouTube, on screen at the moment, here's your leader, Zach Nixon for Southampton A, the number 15. But the lead, Howard, is going down. It's now 1.6 seconds between Nixon and Josh Watts in the Nottingham A kart.
Absolutely. I think it's terrible the Royal Mail to hold back Mr. Street's fan mail. Just picking up on what was being discussed in the pit lane there.
Who we've got left to make pit stops, Howard?
By my reckoning, and I admit that it did get a bit frantic early on in this particular pit window. Huddersfield A owes a stop, UWTSD Swansea owes a stop. As do Brunel B.
Sorry, I'm going to hold you up there on Huddersfield. Huddersfield had a 1 minute 48 on lap 51, so I reckon they have made a pit stop.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I can believe that. UWTSD Swansea, I don't think I've seen.
No, I don't think they have.
Bath A, I've got, having not done one, but I will double check that because they have dropped down the order quite a way now. No, they do have a time that could have done that. If I'm honest, mate, you caught me just before I do my sanity check on who's
apologies.
pitted. So I'm now looking rather sheepish. It may only be UWTSD. Bear with me, is the short answer.
Just saw Simon Morton going through shot. Birmingham A, what a tough bit of luck for them. They're running 33rd at the moment, 5 laps down. I reckon they could have got 3rd in this race had they not had that incident. There's 2 of your championship contenders. Joseph Jacks just went through shot in the Huddersfield A kart. Matthew Lewis for Oxford Brooks A. That's actually a battle for 4th place now, as we cut back to the leader, who is now just 1.3 seconds ahead of Nottingham A. The trouble is, both of these drivers coming through traffic. Josh Watts, you can see there in the number 4, just 1 second down now on Southampton A. Oliver Wedden between them. That's Loughborough A currently running in 10th place. The 20 and the 30, that's going to be Birmingham B in the 20, and the 30 is Southampton B. They're both several laps down. Southampton B 5 laps down, Birmingham B just the 1 lap down. But actually, you're saying that the Southampton B kart being there, that's just what Zach Nixon wants right now, because that's a friend. That's a friend who was stopping Josh Watts coming through. However, I've just spotted something, Howard. Oliver Wedden and Josh Watts working together here. Definitely working together here. There was a little thumbs up there from Wedden to Watts behind. This is very, very clever play. Still a long way in this race to go, 7.5 minutes. But Watts has recognised that Wedden's got speed and is using him like a battering ram almost to get through this traffic and catch up to Zach Nixon and Southampton A.
Yep, it's clever play. Absolutely clever play. Not necessarily on the same lap here, but playing it critically. Someone's just moved.
And there it was, critically just there, that Watts gave Wedden the boost. Wedden got a good run on the Liverpool kart, and then because he'd gone past the Liverpool kart, that left a gap for Watts to get through and past Liverpool. So now you've got the situation where Southampton, there they are, the 15. There's the number 1 that's Loughborough and a lap down. And then there's the 25. Although saying that, the 25's fighting back on Nottingham A. That won't please Josh Watts.
Yeah, this is Bath A fighting back against Josh Watts in that Nottingham kart. Everyone has now pitted, I'm delighted to say. And they've done so with a 2-minute gap to the close of the fuel window. So everyone's obeying the rules very nicely there. I'll tell you what, who are our key... who's at the sharp end of this race then? Because there are some... I have quite a few penalties here.
Let's go through them then. Southampton A, have they got a penalty?
They...
Oh, contact between Loughborough and the Bath A driver. Well, if possible, Morgan, I'd like to see that one again if we can, and see who was at fault there.
Yeah, Bath driver 2 laps down from the Loughborough driver there.
I'd be very interested to see who was at fault there. Ollie Wedden, knowing the championship predicament, that who's that going up the inside? That's one of the Brooks karts. That's a Brooks kart fighting with yes, it's Oxford Brooks B fighting with Loughborough A, and that is for position.
Yeah, that's for 9th place. So that is a genuine on-the-road fight. In fact, let's have a quick talk about on-the-road fights. The 2 of Oxford Brooks A and the 35.
Sorry, Howard, here's the replay. So, Bath A, racing incident. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other for me on that one.
Bath
on second review.
Yeah, Bath kart couldn't disappear, could he? But yes, close on track. Brooks A and Northumbria A are very close together, battling over 4th place out there. That's the number 2 and the 35 for you to look out for those watching on the stream. Brooks D and Loughborough C are close on track.
Sorry, Howard, can I get a check on penalties for Southampton and Nottingham?
Yes. Southampton doesn't have any. Nottingham doesn't have any.
Good. That's what we want to hear. Because the gap is now less than 1 second and there's clear road as long as Nottingham can get past Leeds, which they do. We've got a race on now. 4.5 minutes to go and the 2 leaders are next to each other on circuit. This is just what we want to see in the BUKC. Can Josh Watts close down Zach Nixon? He's been working his way through this traffic for about 20 minutes and at long last both him and Nixon are clear of it, and it's a battle to the end now.
What's the longest running rivalry in BUKC, Andrew?
Oh, you've got me there. Is it Southampton and Nottingham?
I was going to go for what's the most classic, the classic one we talk about.
Loughborough and Brooks.
Indeed, that's the one I was talking about. Brooks D and Loughborough C locked in battle out there, and Brooks B and Loughborough A locked in battle out there.
Excellent.
And this is in both cases for a spot in the top 10.
Yep.
So some good battles going on out there. Liverpool A and Birmingham B having a good battle further down the order over 18th place. Kingston A and Newcastle B not far behind as well, they're close. And 3 laps off the lead, but having a great old ding-dong out there. Leeds A and Bath A are just tenths of a second apart. That kart that we saw involved. There's a penalty for Brooks A. That's not what they wanted.
And it is for multiple contact warning, so that's 10 seconds. That's going to drop them back behind Nottingham Trent A.
And it's going to drop them further, Andrew, because they've already got an ABC.
Oh. And we were always saying about how critical it is with each position in every race throughout the season.
Though they have just got past Northumbria, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
It is a time penalty in this form of racing, not a position penalty, as those of you who race in Club 100 sprints may be more familiar with.
Well, here we go then. Look at this, 2.5 minutes to go. How are you liking this? They've been racing for 57.5 minutes. Here are your 2 leaders. 1 second separates the both of them, and it would be huge wins for both of them if they could take it. Southampton A looking probably to maybe getting a top 5 as Bath A have got a problem there. Penalty for Exeter B again.
Yes. They're having a bid for the, how can we put this, one of the more eventful races of the season. I'm running out of room on my spreadsheet for their penalties at this point.
Ooh, yes.
Here's the interesting thing though, Andrew, beyond this battle for the lead, in the closing moments of the race, and my goodness do we need to keep an eye on it, because
half a second just got taken out.
Yes, very quickly then. Huddersfield A running 3rd have a penalty, don't forget, for a jump start. And Brooks A behind them have 20 seconds worth of penalty as well. So my understanding is that at the moment Northumbria A are actually a net 3rd.
Excellent. Good job for them. More great driving from the 35. But here it is. The battle is well and truly on now. Nixon and Watts have got 2 laps to sort this out. And Josh Watts is he's just taken another 0.3 of a second out of Zach Nixon and Southampton A. 60 seconds to go, so there'll be this lap plus 1 more. There's the Cranfield kart ahead of them. Hopefully James Burt will keep out of the way, especially as he's in an ineligible position. Contact warning for Huddersfield A, meanwhile, third on the road. This is brilliant. It's going to go down to the last lap then. Nixon and Watts, Southampton and Nottingham. Who's going to take the first 60 points? Watts is looking for the inside. Doesn't quite get the drive off that corner. Burt has a look behind him. Doesn't realise it's the leaders and doesn't get out the way. This is the last lap.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. We raced for the best part of an hour and it comes down to this. Nixon needs to find a way past the Cranfield car. Ineligible, as you say, Andrew. He's got Watts breathing down his neck. Just takes one opportunity.
The risk, though, is because that Cranfield cart's there, Watts can't go for a dive bomb because he'll probably end up taking the Cranfield cart out. Nixon goes defensive through the shakies. This is the last chance for Watts to get through. It's going to be a drag race to the line. It looks like Zach Nixon's going to hold on for it. What a drive from both of these drivers, but Southampton A take the win. A fantastic, cool-headed victory for Zach Nixon and co. Josh Watts gave it everything and probably needed, well, what, 2 more laps to be able to get by. But it's good points for Nottingham now. We wait for third place. We think it's going to be Northumbria A, who after the penalties taken, here they all come across the line. Huddersfield A got it on the line in terms of on the road. Then it was Oxford Brookes A and Northumbria A. Both third and fourth on the road have penalties. Nottingham Trent, how did they do? Did they get any penalties? Sixth on the road.
Rings a bell that they did. Yes, they've got an ABC penalty.
Okay. Loughborough C, great result there for Loughborough C. They're having a fantastic day. Won in intermediates earlier on in race 5. And then they've got this 7th place as well for the first Enduro. Oxford Brookes D finish 8th and on the lead lap. Oxford Brookes B 9th. That's all right. That's okay. That's a solid first result for them.
2 penalties apiece for those 2 teams, though, Andrew.
Okay.
Both Brookes D and Brookes B have multi-contact penalty, and then there's an ABC and a cone. Can I just say, that came down to the smallest of margins. Every single thing counts.
Just to finish off on the screen then, so Warwick A 10th, 11th for Loughborough A, 12th for Leeds Beckett A, 13th for Newcastle A and Loughborough B 14th. And Cranfield A were 15th but ineligible. Exeter, Leeds, Birmingham, Newcastle, Liverpool and Kingston all wrap out the top 20. We're going to pass down to the grid, have a chat with some of those drivers who were the stars of the race. Over to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Andrew. Here down on the grid, the drivers are getting weighed. As we all know, there is a weight minimum of 75 kilograms. If you do not weigh that much, you have to carry lead on the car with you. Once they've been weighed, we will interview the race winner. We believe Zach Nixon crossed the line first for Southampton. As long as he weighs a minimum of 75 kilograms, he will be crowned winner of Endurance Race 1. I can't quite see Zach. I'm not sure where he pulled up behind me, but as soon as he does pass by, we will get him weighed and drag him to one side for an interview. So far, so good, I believe. I haven't seen Jimbo cross anyone's name off that list of his. But, yeah, let's sneak in behind. Watch out for the fuel bowser. See if we've got anyone breaking the rules. A couple of people not quite making the limit, actually. A number of people being crossed off the list there. And yeah, still no sign of our race winner. We're looking for number 15, Zach Nixon. And I can't quite pick him out of this motley crew of drivers lining up to be weighed. Oh, there he is. He was hidden behind Mr. Burt. And everything's good. Zach, stick with us. You're the race winner. Congratulations. Do you want to grab your helmet and we'll have a quick chat whilst everyone gets weighed? We're in the most awkward position ever because people are coming off the scales and through the shot. But yeah, first place, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. A bit of a change from earlier. When I spoke to you on the grid, I had my worst ever race in BUKC. So it's a bit of a change.
Better that I talked to you after the race, I guess, then, than before. Tell us a bit about it. Were you contending from the start?
Well, Rory basically did half the work, or all the work. He was setting fastest laps. Then I just had to bring it home at the end.
And bring it home you did. Congratulations. If you see Rory, tell him to come for a quick chat with me. What am I doing?
Nobody cares about Rory.
Come on, let's have a quick chat. Is this the proudest moment in your life?
Yeah, I think it's no, but you know,
What is then?
that's a hard question. That's a trick question, mate. I don't know.
Surely you must know the proudest moment, the epitome of your proudest you've ever been.
Funnels on the way here, in the van.
Okay, funnels on the way. Yeah. Apparently drinking is more important than winning.
At the same time, it's alright.
That's okay. Yes, and everyone is sober now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well sober.
Glad to hear it. Right.
You take care.
Thanks for the interview. Much appreciated. Southampton there. There. Oh, apologies. Someone managing to avoid walking through the shot. Someone else ducking out of the way. Very nearly finished now. Ryan Luscombe there walking past. We've got 3 drivers left away before we can get this lot out for race number 2. Shimmy out of the way there. Have a quick look over Jimbo's shoulder, see if anyone's been disqualified. Absolutely no one. Everyone's playing by the rules. All drivers from that race weighing in just above 75 kilos. A fantastic showing of rule abiding from the BUKC drivers. Right, not quite sure why they're still being held back. I'm going to position myself on the grid, ready and waiting. They're going to get told off by JV, is what I'm hearing from the Club 100 staff. We'll allow JV to give these drivers a stern talking to. Although none of them were underweight, presumably they've all broken the rules in other ways, shapes or form. The track limits here, the most common track limits warning you'll get is on the exit of turn 1, Lee Bend. Drivers tend to kind of brake drift into that, as you will have seen on the stream, and run out on the exit hoping to carry as much speed down to Lazarus as they can. Unfortunately, that does mean that sometimes drivers will put all 4 wheels of the kart on the outside of the white line, something you're not allowed to do in most walks of motorsport, certainly those which are track-based. Quite a few ABC penalties and cone penalties being handed out. In fact, one of our cones has actually died a death today, so JV may well be addressing the drivers regarding those issues. He's now on the microphone, just over here to my left. They're going to have a quick chat before endurance race 2. Luckily, everyone is gathered here ready to go out for race number 2. We got a few drivers down the far end coming down. A few haven't heard JV over the microphone. There is a long list of penalties, and if we look to the right, we will see a crane in attendance here at Hooton Park. You may have noticed that earlier this morning we had several shots from Drone Man Dan, our resident drone cameraman, which have dried up since round about race 2 or 3. Unfortunately, for your viewing pleasure, Drone Man Dan managed to land his drone in a tree. In fact, it was right at the top of the tree, positioned right next to the crane, who have thankfully come to help us bring it down, essentially. I did offer to shake the tree vigorously, but Dan was not altogether too keen to see his drone crash to the ground. I did also offer to climb it, but he said, no, don't worry, I wouldn't want you to injure yourself. He's a nice guy, is Drone Man Dan. For those of you who want to see a quick interview with DMD, during the lunch break at Wilton Mill, we had a quick chat with Dan, told us a little bit about his drone flying. He's a professional drone flyer, I would like to say. Got himself a little license, and he's very good. I'll say that much. He's a very good drone pilot. Ignore the fact the tree came out of nowhere for Dan. There's not a lot he could have done. The tree was all over the tree line, and if Dan wants to fly his drone there, to be honest, the tree should have got out of the way and respected him as a pilot. Anyway, luckily the crane is here. We should bring you a few more drone shots during the endurance races. We do love the drone shots here at the live stream. Alpha Live are big fans of Drone Man Dan, and once someone has scaled that crane and picked it out of the tree, hopefully we'll get flying again this afternoon. 2 more endurance races to bring you, 2 hour-long sessions, although they may actually be cut down we are running short of time here, and since they're getting a telling off, we haven't got all the time in the world. Yes, indeed, as I say, that JV has confirmed we have lost the last 5 minutes of the next 2 races. They will be 55 minutes long. Unfortunately, due to the number of errors drivers have clocked up, he's having to have a talk with them, and that time unfortunately eats into their racing time. It appears that Drone Man Dan has his drone back. He is walking back around the circuit right now. Bit of a sullen look, shall we say, but very glad to have his machinery back in the capable hands of himself. Once he gets back round here, it is a long walk around there. The driveway for this thing, or if you want to call it Road 2, goes right up to where Drone Man Dan is walking to, and then he comes back down around the back of the circuit. So he should be back with us, hopefully, halfway through this endurance race. The drivers have been told, they've hopefully learned their lesson, and now they are filing out, ready for Race 2 of BUKC 2018, round number 6. We're going to grab a few interviews with the front runners, maybe some of the middle pack as well. Never really make it to the back of the grid, but we haven't got all the time in the world. Let's see who's lining up at the front of this one. I believe Le Fressy there, number 49. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew later. Line up on pole position and shaping up to go into second. I can see the driver, I can't see a number or any kind of indication as to what university he goes to. I'm afraid to say I don't recognise him. Jack Ransom there, double gold medal winner from this morning. Giving a quick flash to the camera. Cheeky young lad. Who is this we've got here in second place? I want to say I recognise the helmet. I do. I recognise the helmet because it's our reigning champions, Loughborough A. Perhaps we'll have a quick chat with them. It's a double pole position, of course, because they started dead last in the last race. 35th and 36th, I believe they were. So now they get the reverse of that, so that their grid place averages out somewhere in the middle. Other teams will have 2 positions in the middle for the 2 endurance races. But yeah, let's go see how they're feeling about starting this race on pole position. Squeeze in behind the pusher cart here. Lads, got time for a quick chat?
Yeah, go.
Who have we got here?
Yeah.
Remind me of your name,
James.
James. Pole position. Not. Is this pole or is that pole? Second.
Yeah.
And that's your C team, is it? Line up alongside you. Any kind of team orders in play here?
Not really. I think we're just gonna obviously be kind to each other, not take each other out, and then just see what happens after that. To be honest.
How did our reigning champions get on in that last race?
Not poorly, but we were around middle of the field. I think we finished 10th, didn't we? 11th. So not too bad, but not brilliant. So
can you make up for it now?
Yeah, got a bit of work to do.
Who are you going out with, James?
Pardon?
Who's your partner?
Give us a sec.
So it's not Tom.
Who's out with me?
Ollie was in the last.
Freddie. Freddie's out with me.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm sure Freddie's more than capable driver, not that you just forgot his name, not the fact that he existed.
No, not the fact that he existed.
All right, thanks, James. Let's go have a chat with the C team. Lining up on pole position. They're having a photo. Ed's just kicked over someone's cup of tea, but I will forgive them. Do you want me to get in? Shall I get in the photo? I look really handsome today, so do you want to just like a quick pose in one, and then we'll start talking?
All right.
Okay. Who have we got? Who's this?
Tom.
Tom, how have you managed to secure this pole position? Who did you have to? Well, I won't suggest what you have to do.
I had to get my share to agree to allow me to start.
Okay.
It's just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. No, I probably won't get this chance again, so I'm just going to try not to bin it first corner and have a good race.
Tell you what would be really bad is if you binned yourself and James. Don't do that.
No, because they've got the only chance of winning, really, so I might have to let him go in the first couple of corners and then see if I can stick with him for a bit. But yeah.
So if
don't bin him off is the main.
If he's ahead of you by Lazarus, you've let him be ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
It was my plan. Yeah.
few specks of rain coming down. Would you rather it be wet or dry for this one?
Dry. I had a wet race this morning. It's my first wet race outdoors, so it didn't go very well. But yeah, dry definitely.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us. Good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Tom there from Loughborough C, lining up on pole position. In behind we got Yui. Who's going in? Pete's not there. They don't get an interview. He's not there. We got Birmingham here. Willie Chew is on the grid. Willie Chew. A rare sighting there of Willie Chew. Exeter lining up on the left of me. We've got Callum Brewell, I believe, for Cranfield, I want to say.
Indeed.
Sorry?
Indeed.
Cranfield have only got 2-point scoring drivers today. What's happened there?
One of them had to be back in home for a family wedding, and one of them's working for a Porsche team, so I couldn't find any of the drivers, so we're just making the most of what we got, just having fun really.
Can you go out there and bag several points for the Cranfield team and make up for the fact you only got 2-point scoring drivers?
We'll try. I think to guarantee we won't come last, we've pretty much got to win, but who knows? It's a challenge, so.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I believe in myself.
You get out there and work your magic, Callum.
Will do. Cheers, Jacob. Thanks for the
Okay, Callum Brewell there for Team Cranfield. We're going to cross over now because I think we're just about ready to be pushed off. Jimbo's towards the back of the grid. We may have a second or two. Trinity St David are calling for, I don't know what they're calling for, essentially. Tell me what to do, James. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on back here. Trinity St David appear to have a problem, which may or may not be delaying the start. Let's have a quick chat. What's the problem? What's the issue?
The pedal won't move. So
Pedal won't move. Good news. The drone is live. I don't know where it is. Can anyone see the drone? Okay. Oh, it's not live. It's alive. So yeah, we just spent the last few seconds just looking around in the air. Now the pedal works. What do you reckon your chances are here?
I think they're pretty good. Harry was quickest in his race, and I was quickest in mine. So let's see how we do.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to quickly have a chat with Rob further ahead of you. Narrowly missed out on a round win earlier. Already spoken to Ben today, but Rob, very close on the podium. Just had a miss of not going better in this.
We've absolutely had a shocker in the first one. We were 7 laps down, so I might win the endurance, but we're not winning the round.
Who was in the cart for that one?
Yeah, that was my fault.
What did you do?
Well, actually, no, I think it was his fault. Ask him.
Ben, what did you do?
I didn't do the fuel filler cap on right, and so I stopped at the end of the pit lane. Then I got taken out, and then I dropped the fuel filler cap as well at the pit stop.
Tragic race. Tragic race.
Yeah, I spun it as well. A couple of warnings, didn't do very good.
On the podium to stone dead last.
Oh yeah, by 5 laps or 7 laps? 7 laps, yeah, I think that might be a record, right?
I'm not sure about a record because I was pretty bad back in my day. But yeah, 7 laps back. Catastrophe for second place Sheffield in the last round. Rob, I mean, I'd say can you bring it back, but what can you expect from just this race? Ignore the rest of it. What can we expect to see from you today?
Well, we've proved that Wilton that we're good at pit stops. So if we can keep the fuel cap on, then we should be pretty competitive.
By the sounds of it, it's dreadful. So forget Wilton. Are you yourself better at pit stops?
Yeah.
That's all right. Is there going to be any hindrance that your dad's not here with the feather dusters? Oh, I expect to see the hottest pit stop today, Rob. I have to go have a shower. But for now, good luck for your race. That there was Rob Newman of Sheffield, and we're just about to be pushed off the grid. We are stuck in the middle once more. James is going to go back to back with James like this, like a boy band.
Thank you, Jacob. And hello to everybody on Mixler. So here we go then, into race 2.
General recap of things which have happened. They've had a telling off.
Yes.
They've had a telling off because there were too many penalties in that one. And we're also now on 55-minute races. Now, we've been professional this time, as I think it's starting to rain as well.
Yes, it is.
We've checked the pit stop windows. It's 5 to 25 minutes and then 30 to 50 minutes.
Yes.
So just so everybody's clear on that, if anyone pits after 50 minutes and we get cross, we are right in getting cross this time.
Yes, and we are saying it now. Drone Man Dan for Bandit of the Year.
Drone Man Dan for Bandit of the Year.
Crashing into a tree. I don't know how you beat that.
There's nothing in the regulations of the BUKC annual awards that says that you have to be in a Club 100 kart to be nominated for an award. So I am personally nominating Drone Man Dan for 2018 BUKC Bandit of the Year.
Right, do we have a grid for this one?
We do.
Sorry. Yes, we should go through this.
We should do that. There it is.
We go straight into rolling up for this, so we're going to be quite quick. It is a Loughborough front row then, with Loughborough B, with Loughborough A starting alongside. University of West of England A are third, with Nottingham C fourth. Then it's Loughborough C and Birmingham B on row 3. Row 4 will be Exeter A and Cranfield A, with Huddersfield B and Liverpool A rounding out the top 10. Row 6, forgive me, I'm going faster than the graphic. I'm rather worried they're about to start this without us. Row 6 is Sheffield A and Leeds Beckett A. Then it's Oxford Brooks B and Coventry A on row 7. Row 8 is UWTSD Swansea, in which case I shall go at a slightly more leisurely pace. So yes, row 7 was Brooks D and Coventry A. Row 8 was UWTSD Swansea and Kingston. Row 9 will be Oxford Brooks D and Newcastle B. Row 10 is King's College A and Oxford Brooks C to round out the top 20. 21st on the grid, and starting row 11 is Aston A, with Swansea C alongside in 22nd place. The 12th row of the grid is Oxford A and Swansea A. And then it will be Warwick B and Aston B on row 13. Row 14 is Manchester Metropolitan A with Imperial A alongside. Row 15 and rounding out the top 30 on the grid will be Cambridge A and Bristol A. Then it will be Nottingham B and Newcastle C in 31st and 32nd respectively. And then it will be Leeds B and Brunel A and Warwick E and Swansea B to round out the 36 kart grid.
Looks like we're good for a go for the start of this race. This is race 2. For round 6 of the British Universities Karting Championship 2017. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell in the commentary box for you. Eyes on the lights. All Loughborough front row. Who's going to lead into turn 1? They're away for the second time in the Enduros today. And James Mills is trying to go round the outside of his own teammate. There's a couple of drivers running wide, but I think all 36 drivers are going to make it round. And yes, James... Oh no, there's all sorts going on in the middle of the pack. Rob Newman somehow got through that, but James Mills leads for Loughborough A.
I think it's the number 20 Birmingham B kart that is having the longest drawn-out save of the season. He is still heading towards turn 3.
Bounce.
But he hasn't lost the engine yet. Yes, I have to say, Loughborough B did exactly what they needed to do there in many ways. Held the inside line and bulked most of the pack.
King's College
his teammate went round the outside.
King's College running very wide, but they've survived. They've kept it going for another day at least. Here we go then, over start finish. Loughborough A lead, UEA second, Loughborough B third, and Sheffield A fourth.
Birmingham B did manage to save it, by the way, after very long hold on low pedal. And yes, we talked about Newcastle C as well, having a drama there, but managed to keep things going. So yes, University of West of England A challenging James Mills at the moment at the front. And I recognise that helmet and suit combination in the UE kart. I'm trying to place a name on it. Is it
Steve Daly?
Ah, yes, good shout. Good shout. And then, of course,
Sheffield A up to third as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob Newman at the wheel of that effort. And we've got a few minutes here of just out-and-out racing before the first pit window opens. As we've got a stationary kart there on the exit of 4. It's the 14 of Coventry A. So that's disaster for Coventry A after they're off.
Yeah.
In the last one. My goodness. So, yeah, that's a disappointing end to the day for them, isn't it? Well, end to the day. We will, of course, keep circulating, but it's going to be difficult for them to salvage much from this race.
So the pit window 1 is as normal as a cone penalty. Oh dear, for the number 18 of Loughborough C.
We were sat in here hearing the words of JV, to quote,
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
I am just going to have a check on my friend Colin, see how he's doing.
He's being protected.
He is being protected by those two green, much more sizable pieces of track furniture. But leave Colin and his friends alone, drivers. Here's the leader, James Mills and Loughborough A, trying to get as many points. This is just these two next races, Howard. They're just about getting, and there's definitely rain coming down, by the way. This is just about getting as many points and getting yourself in as good a position going into Clay Pigeon in a few weeks' time as possible. I don't think any team is going to be going in there thinking, yeah, if we get just a 5th and a 6th in the round, we're going to be good for the championship. Everyone is going to need to go into this final round of the year, when we get to Clay Pigeon, needing round wins, round podiums to win a championship.
Yeah, I agree. Already the leader's having to deal with a form of traffic, which is the stricken Coventry A kart.
Well, it's not stricken anymore.
Sorry, no, yeah, obviously, sorry, the formerly stricken Coventry A kart, which is interesting because that's not exactly a slow kart to put a lap on. As Rob Newman here challenging the University of West of England. Up the inside of turn 2 is going to be, yes it is.
And this is proper rain now. This is, you can see the back end of the kart starting to step out. These, for me, Howard, are probably the trickiest driving conditions, especially for inexperienced drivers that you can get in the BUKC, especially if you've raced in the dry all day. You've got nice and used to it, and then it's all of a sudden, oh no, the rain has started and the grip's gone away.
Yes, but I tell you one thing I would want to do less, which is jump into the kart in about 5 minutes' time and potentially do my first laps in greasy conditions.
Yeah.
Because at least this way you can, don't get me wrong, I understand you can suddenly come up on a corner and there's a lot less grip than you had last time around. Yeah. But at least you can slowly morph with the weather. You have a, I don't know, it's an interesting debate actually, which one's harder to deal with, as there's a driver around there, one of the Premier teams, at 3. What are we calling that one? Is it harmonica?
Jacob, what's our corner name for turn 3, the hairpin? Harmonica. Thank you very much.
Under the Jacob Harris Hooton Park naming system. But yes, I don't know actually, but yeah, definitely these are challenging conditions. I agree with you there. As it slowly, in fact, there we are. We're seeing more and more drivers
starting to have issues. As into the pits comes that Huddersfield B. I think that's Huddersfield B, and I think Sheffield A pitted as well. So here we go then, start of the pit stops. And yeah, it's probably quite sensible because there's going to be a lot of yellow flags over the next couple of laps, so there's potential there to gain a little bit from a pit stop. Drivers falling off the road. You'd hope in about 5 or 10 minutes time, when everybody's used to the conditions, people won't be falling off the road. This could be a savvy little play from Huddersfield B and Sheffield A. But it's still Loughborough A leading this race. 11th in the first race. So, you know, they can get a maximum of 110 points for round 6, as Loughborough A have now pitted. Pitting from the lead. UWE A head to the front of the field then. Oxford Brookes B are in this one, running well there in second place. Had an okay first race, and a very good morning of course, where they won round 5. They'll be looking to extend their championship lead if possible. There they are, Jack Ransom at the wheel, navigating his way past the King's College kart. He's past Coventry as well, who we know are a lap down. Penalty, number 66, Newcastle B. That's the first one of their race. Just going to check out what it was for. It was for track limits. Who's that off there? Might be a Premier team. Or it might be the 66 actually. So drivers having to take care through Lazarus now. Round turn 2, it is the 68. Which is Warwick E. I thought that wasn't a number I actually recognised. That's our new Warwick E team for today. What have you got for us, Howard?
Just questioning what's just happened to Loughborough A. They've either
they pitted.
Yes, but it was a slow stop, Andrew. 2:14.
Ooh, that is slow. That's about 30 seconds slower than I'd expect.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, at least. So not a good stop at all for Loughborough. It's interesting, actually. Bristol, I wonder if so many people have just gone into the pit lane, they all got held up at the fuel bowsers, because Bristol A... Oh, well, I mean, I suppose there's the thing of everyone's backing off the pace. That's one thing to bear in mind. But even so, I'm rather surprised by how slow those are coming out. So we're still getting some pit laps that are very good. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. Possibly congestion at the fuel bowsers.
Could be. Oh, who was that off? I think that was the 79 running across the chicane. I'm going to make a prediction right now. How it was Manchester Metropolitan. Through the shakies, the bit of grass on driver's left is going to get quite treacherous in the next, well, 45 minutes of running in this one and then into race 3. We've already seen several drivers cutting it, and it's going to start making that grass quite muddy. We could see someone get stuck in there. I would not be surprised at that at all. 45 minutes to go of this race then. 10 minutes down. UWE-A lead the race. Oxford Brooks B second. University of Wales Trinity St David with Taylor Adams at the wheel third. Here is your battle between the 50 and the 79. The 79 manages to get round this time. There is the 47, the leader, and look up the inside, there goes Jack Ransom. Oh, there's a spinner there on the last corner. Drivers need to be careful of that one and not overtaking under yellows. Just caught a sight of Rob Newman. In fact, there is Rob. He's got Brunel A up behind him and Cranfield A. This is the race where Cranfield A will be scoring points, so if they can get a good result, they can pull themselves a little bit up the order. But great to see Cranfield back in. Hopefully during Callum Brule's time at Cranfield that team will start to grow. What's up, Howard? Oh dear, here we go. Penalty City has arrived again. We've got a black flag for Leeds B, penalty for Sheffield A and ABC, and a penalty for Oxford Brooks C, also an ABC. Leeds B especially, overtake under yellow. That's pretty much a no-no. Now what's... this was the number 11, going past the 36. Now, was that under yellow flag? It might not have been. The yellow flag might not have been out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the incident had just occurred. So the question is, where is the marshal post just before that?
It's just before the chicane, isn't it?
Yes. So, not sure about that one.
Here's the battle over 4th place. Brunel and Cranfield. Leeds Beckett A there at the 33 as well. I'm not even going to repeat what Jacobs just put on my computer screen. That is filth. That is just utter filth. Disgraceful human being.
Oh dear. There's some schoolboy humour going on in here.
There's a move for a position. Leeds Beckett A going past Cranfield. That's for 5th place. Warwick B have also got past all of this, and look at Loughborough A coming through as well. So Loughborough A, after their troublesome pit stop, they are a lap down, but James Mills has stayed in the kart. So yeah, there must have been something very strange for them to lose half a minute, Howard, in a stop where there was no driver change. Quite strange. I can't believe what I've just read there. That's not repeatable at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
I'm mature. Right. Do you know, recording all those penalties, I'm very sorry. I've lost track of the pit stops. Somewhat, because I had to record one and not the other. This is a contact warning for Leeds Beckenham. If everyone could just heed JV's words and stop
getting penalties, please.
We'll be able to follow this race.
Certain teams have already incurred my wrath today for messing up the spreadsheet of doom in the morning, and I think teams are going to start incurring Mr. Mitchell's wrath in a minute, and believe me, his wrath is bigger than mine.
Yeah, I go on about it for longer.
Here's the battle then, as the University of Wales, Trinity St David's and Swansea A have just set the fastest lap of the race. James Mills making his way through the traffic and actually doing a bit of a job at the moment for this battle for 4th place, which is Warwick B, Leeds Beckett A and Cranfield A. There is a yellow flag out down at turn 1 for somebody who has, in fact, there's 2 drivers there that have fallen off the road. 72 making their way past number 70. Good move there into the hairpin. Contact warning for the locals, Liverpool A. So it seems, it feels at least, like a lot more of the teams are running longer into this stint. 49 goes up the inside of 70. That's Loughborough B. Look at that scrap going on there. That's involving the 34, who is away down the order. That's Bristol A going past Aston B for 30th place. See yellow flag out, I think down at turn 1 again. And turn 3. As the 47 has had a problem as well, and I think drivers really starting to find these conditions very, very hard. And the 47 was UWEA, so our former leaders of the race are off as, oh my goodness me, Callum Brewell doing a bit of wall of death around the outside there. And who else is into the pit lane? I saw someone dive for them. It looks like Leeds Beckett A have come in. Big gaggle of traffic here. Yes, the 33 is in. As is the 66 of Newcastle B. And they're queuing at the moment, so they've not picked a good time to stop. Penalty for Loughborough A. How important could this be? Loughborough A, the number 1, are going to get a 5-second penalty here. They've already had a bad first pit stop. And now they're going to suffer from more penalties. Looking like into the pits is going to go, I think that might have been Loughborough B, the 38 re-emerges from the pits as well.
Yeah, I'll give you Loughborough B. They have yet to pit.
See the 14 there, that's the Coventry A kart, who actually, I'm going to say something here. I think Coventry A have got an issue with their transponder because they are 18 laps down.
Oh, now they did have a problem, but it wasn't that bad. As there's a penalty for Kingston for multiple contact.
And they're clearly going around. Callum Brewell, there he is in the very distinctive yellow helmets. Seems to be a thing about Warwick drivers. Of course, Callum now racing for Cranfield, but the drivers of Warwick with very distinctive colours. Having said that, there was quite a while, I do apologise, back in the day when I used to confuse Callum Brewell and Sam Cobb. There's the leader, as I'm hearing from the pit lane that there's an issue with the 44, which is the Imperial kart. No side pod. That's had an issue.
Oh, blimey. Yes, that's quite a significant issue.
And cone penalty for the second place car, number 8. Well, where have you dropped that, boys? There's a bit missing there. And JV will want it back, please.
Wasn't there was a test in the 90s in F1 where one of the drivers complained we had a slight airflow problem in that I lost the side pod or something like that. They had a big crash in testing, and to gloss over the fact that they'd binned it, they just said, yeah, we had a slight aero problem, the side pod ceased being on the car or something like that.
Oh, who have we got here? Is that King's College? No.
we both thought the same thing there. I shall look for them as they come around.
Okay.
It is.
Whilst you're doing that, here's the leader, 13, Taylor Adams, who's getting quicker and quicker through this season. I didn't think that was possible with Taylor, but he's had a good couple of rounds. Rob Newman's not that far behind as well. Now that's crucial because you can see that Sheffield have already pitted. They do have a penalty. That's kind of giving you I think Sheffield are leaders of those that have made a pit stop as well. So we'll have to see where the number 13. In fact, let's do a quick run through, Howard. 13, 8, 7 and 72. Are they all owing us pit stops?
Yes. Yes, they are. And sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you're a fan of either of these two teams, but the two that were spun off at hairpin 3 that we just saw was the 34 of Bristol A and the 61 of Swansea C. Just to finish up on that. Yeah, so my understanding is that we are now only owed a stop by Brunel A, Exeter A, UWTSD Swansea and Cranfield.
Liverpool A there, you can see them running 12th at the moment, very, very nicely at the moment. Have Liverpool made a pit stop?
Yes.
Good, even better then for Liverpool as they look to gain points in the intermediate class battle. Looks like Cranfield are in, they've dropped down the order. So Callum Brewell will hand over to Arthur Troutey. Yellow flags out at turn 1. Who was that? There's 2 drivers off down at turn 1. And I thought one of them might have been the Huddersfield B kart. I thought I saw... No, it wasn't Jack Linus's helmet, apologies. But it's still Taylor Adams. University of Wales, Trinity St David, Howard, look like they're going for their preferred long strategy, which we've seen them do before.
Yeah. Yep, seems to be a favoured strategy by the Welsh squad.
Here's something that you don't often see. Leader of the race, and also effective leader once the pit stops are done, on the track together. Sheffield A are a lap down. On timing at least. Fastest lap of the race has just been put in by Oxford Brooks B at 52.127. So they're looking pretty good. Now where are they in comparison to Sheffield? Oh, a spin right in front of the leaders! The 50 does well to avoid. The number 5 of Oxford A was involved as well. It might have been... I didn't quite catch the one that actually went round. Might have been the 60 or the 66. The 66 was in the same region as Oxford. It was the 66 of Oxford. Newcastle B. Just got put off there by the bunny ears on. I think it was Ben Simpson's green helmet.
Just thinking.
Oh, mechanical flag, Coventry A. This is going to be for the transponder.
Yeah.
Because they're now 25 laps down, but we know they've been running around. So, it's up the inside of Sheffield goes the Oxford Brooks D kart. That's a lap down on Rob Newman.
I believe it was Nottingham B, by the way, the kart that we saw spun out at turn 1.
Oh, okay.
A couple of laps ago. I think they had a slow lap time.
38 being overtaken there, another lap put on them by Rob Newman. So not long to go then, so we've got 23 laps done, 23 minutes done. The number 13 owes us a pit stop in the next minute and a half.
As does Exeter A and Brunel A by my count, Andrew.
Yeah.
So more teams leaving this a little bit tight on the first pit window than we saw in the first race.
Keep your comments coming in. Hello to Peter Apkin, who says, fun to watch, old karter in Chicago from the late 50s and 60s. One time in an Enduro, I ran 120 miles an hour at Milwaukee State Fair Park, where IndyCars ran the week after Indy. Thanks for the look back. Well, thank you, Peter, for tuning in to us. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Here's your two leaders. I say two leaders because one's the actual leader on the road, but once Taylor Adams pits, the driver behind will inherit the lead. That is the number 12 of Sheffield A.
He's going in, Andrew.
He is going in. Oh, there was a cone clip there, and Taylor Adams will be in the pits. We're going to pass down to Jacob in the pits to hopefully get his thoughts.
And second.
Number 8, and number 8, and number 8. Second place are in, side by side, to the side. Like that.
Did it rain twice during that?
Sorry?
Did it rain twice?
I don't think it stopped, mate. Oh. I think it kind of died down a bit, but then last 5 minutes.
Still?
Taylor, take him back. On here? Yes. We're in the pits with Taylor Adams.
Well, it felt wet some laps, and then other laps it seemed to die down a bit, so it was dry, and then it really hammered it down at the end. It was good. It was good fun.
Glad to hear it. And I think behind you came in was the Exeter lot, who was second. I'm not quite sure where Jack Poe's got. There he is over there. Do you reckon you can hang on and win this one?
Don't know. I don't know how the strategies are playing out, so have to wait and see, but don't see why not.
So is this your first stop, sorry?
Yeah, that was the first stop, yeah.
So you got to go back out, have you?
Yeah. For like 5 minutes at the end.
Good luck with that, mate. Here we have, from third place, Brunel. Not quite sure who's jumping in and out of the karts. That looks to me like Sam Nash. It's certainly tall enough to be Sam. Although the longer hair would suggest it's not, if that is long hair. Brunel back out on track. We're going to cut back to Andrew and Howard to see how that's panned out.
And have a lead of, I reckon, around 17 seconds. Welcome back to our listeners on Facebook and YouTube. All pit stops now complete. I trust they are. Howard?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
They are indeed. Brunel, fair play to you. As people who've been following this for a while will know, it's my pet peeve for people to pit outside the pit window, but fair play to them. They timed that to perfection, pretty much. Just keeping my eye out for a spinner who I just saw getting recovered at turn 1. So stand by for that one. And Coventry A, just in case their day wasn't going badly enough, they just got a cone penalty.
Oh dear.
I think, to be fair, it's fairly insignificant at this point.
Well then, very interesting developments going on here at Hooton Park. The reason why I say that, Oxford Brooks B. Let's talk them. Championship leaders after 5 rounds. Currently in second place. There's Jack Ransom making his way through the traffic. He's 14.8 seconds down on Rob Newman and Sheffield A. 10th place in the first race, so at the moment they'd be scoring 110 points within round 6. It's a decent score. But can they further improve it? Can they get the extra points for taking the race win away from Sheffield A? Still a long way of this race to go as we've just gone past the halfway mark of it.
Bristol A were your spinners again, I'm afraid to say, at turn 1 a lap ago, as there's a black flag for Coventry A.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
What for now?
That's for 2 cones in quick succession.
Oh dear.
So Coventry A, just to recap, had an off on lap 2. They've had a mechanical issue in the form of a transponder malfunction, and they've had a black flag now for hitting the cone twice. They aren't last.
How?
I don't know. I assume their transponder issue has been rectified on timing, and yeah, they're not last. Anyway, we have passed the halfway stage, so I'll do the boring bit and give a really quick run through of the penalties that have been accrued so far. We're supporting one of these teams, just bear it in mind as we go forward discussing the race. Oxford Brook C has a 10-second penalty for an advantage by contact, as does Sheffield A. And then cone penalties, these are all 5-second penalties. Loughborough A, Exeter A, Loughborough C, Huddersfield B, Swansea A. Those are cone penalties. Multiple contact penalty for Kingston A, that's usually a 10-second penalty. Multiple warnings for track limit penalty. What's the track limit infringement? Is that 10?
10.
That's for Oxford Brooks D. There's some form of penalty for Newcastle B. I think that's related to track limits potentially. We had a black flag for overtaking under yellows for Leeds B. We've had spinnings off for Nottingham B, Swansea C, Coventry A, Bristol A and Newcastle B. And finally Imperial A, who I don't know what happened, but they appeared with no side pod. Yes, drama for them. So plenty of drama going on out there. Actually, I take it Imperial are circulating again. Yes, they are. Presumably in a different cart at this point. Let's not forget, these are still relatively young top 100 chassis. They were new for this season as the 11 puts a lap on the 66. Yes, and the 66 would do well to let that one go, I think, on that particular occasion. Indeed, there we go. It's Jack Ransom at the wheel of the Brooks B kart there, the number 11. And currently, we should say, of course, hunting down. Now, Andrew, the second pit window is open, isn't it? Because we had
yes, it is.
A shortened race, and so this second pit window is 30 to 50 minutes into the race rather than the conventional 35 to 55. So I already have to delve into the pit sheet again, and if anyone wants to be savvy, they can pit right now. But yes, Brooks B and Sheffield A. Sorry, Sheffield A, our leader, with Brooks B hunting them down. And already we have some pit stops being done. Teams taking advantage of the pit window. As you can see, the rain coming down now, can't you? In fact, I'd say it's getting quite heavy now out there relative to how it was at the start of the race. So this is really coming into play now for these teams. And it's going to be an interesting end to this round in the championship. One which, although it may not be feeling quite as frantic as a sprint race round, believe me, it is vitally important this round for a lot of the teams out there for their championship bids. It doesn't matter whether it's raining or shining. The points being accrued here are critical come the end of the year.
And as the pit window opens, we have got some activity down in the pits. Let's see who Jacob's got down there in the pit lane to have a chat with.
Andrew, we've got no one to have a chat with. The Coventry lads are in. Neil
now.
Vincent jumps in the cart. And here we have number 21 as well, which is, I believe, Huddersfield B. They've just come in for their first pit stops. We believe that Oxford Brooks B are just about to come in. We see their C team stopping to our right, but waiting over on the left is a couple more Brooks lads. We think Jack Ransom is about to pit from second place in the race. Either he's not pitting or he hasn't seen them calling him in because he's yet to arrive. But bit of chain lube there for their C team. Well, I believe it's their C team anyway. They've got 4 teams. I can never keep track of which number is which. Yeah, so I just seen number 11 go back round. So we'll hand back to Andrew and Howard and perhaps come back in the pits when Jack stops.
As our listeners and viewers on Facebook and YouTube rejoin us, Oxford Brooks B currently at the halfway stage before these pit stops started again, leading the round. 110 points on the board for them. However, it can be beaten. We've got the top 4 from race 1 all going again in race 3. But Oxford Brooks B, Howard, just doing things nice and solid at the moment. And it seems to be the story of this season.
I was about to say, yeah.
To get the good results, whether it being in a round or the championship so far, being solid and consistently up in the top 5 seems to be more important than just winning outright in some rounds but then losing points in others.
Absolutely. What were we saying about Joe Bleakley early on in the season, Andrew? He's a consistent pair of hands. He's a solid driver. You can expect on him to get a good result. And that can be translated as a phrase to sum up Brooks B. Certainly over this recent part of the championship, it really is critical to get
someone
right.
Very wide there.
I've got.
Oh, it's the push cart driver. Sorry.
I have another question. Coventry A just did a 5-minute lap.
Yes.
Was that the black flag?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. As I believe we have now got leaders coming into the pits as there's something happened there in turn 4. So let's cross down to Jacob.
Yeah, let's cross down. Oxford Brooks B in the pits.
Brooks B are indeed in the pits, Andrew. Out goes, I believe, Matt Taylor from second place. Jack Ransom has jumped out the cart, but he's the other side of the track to me right now. Loughborough B, number 18 here, getting in the pits as well. James is going to go grab Jack for a quick interview. Hopefully he won't get run over by the 79 cart. Here he comes now. He spotted me. He's got a big smile on his face. I like Jack. Jack's a nice guy. Come on under the umbrella. Mate, you are filthy.
Yeah, I got a nice little knock into one of the big puddles, so that was entertaining. Covered me in all sorts of...
Valley though, second place, coming from.
Oh, was that where I didn't know, yeah?
That's why I'm interviewing you.
Oh, right, okay, well, yeah, absolutely.
Don't care about you otherwise.
Just a pretty face. No, yeah, no, it was good. I mean, yeah, pretty interesting conditions. Dry, then wet, then drying, then wet, then drying, then wet. So it's been interesting trying to find where the grip is. I've never driven here in the wet either, so I was just kind of making it up. Not really sure what's going on.
So now that you do know you're in second place, what's the chances of adding to those 2 gold medals you got this morning?
Pretty high. We got Matty Taylor racing, who's doing it now. He's British Open champion in the past at TKM and pretty accomplished driver. So pretty high chance, I'd say. Fingers crossed. Luck goes our way.
All right, brilliant. Andrew and Howard have been talking about the dangers occurring out of the shakies there. Is it a bit slippery down there?
What, out of through the chicane?
Yeah, the shakies.
Oh yeah. You go in because there's so much grip on the entry, and then you come flying into the second part thinking you're going to stop, and all of a sudden all the grip disappears, and you can be in the tyre wall quite easily, I reckon.
And the problem is, if you get the shakies wrong, then that's going to mess up your entry into Bonnie Tyler, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then through here, like you say, you mess that up, you mess your exit up, and then you're not going to have a great time for most of half a lap really, because it's such a short circuit.
All right, Jack, thanks for talking to us. Hopefully see you at the end of the race. Andrew, Howard, back to you in the studio.
As our listeners on Facebook and YouTube rejoin us, you'll have seen on the screen Oxford Brooks C in trouble. Big trouble. Stalling out of the pit lane. Oh, as round goes. Was that the 32? I think they were clipped by the number 30. We'll see as the driver pulls the cart round. It was the 38.
Okay, that makes it Swansea B who've gone round there.
I was close.
Yeah, you were close. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. No, you
what were we chuckling about there?
You were focusing on the Mixler stream. You know,
yes.
the message that was sent to you earlier.
Yes.
It may have been brought up in an interview.
Okay.
Sorry, but we were giggling. Yes, some of Jacob's corner names have brought about unfortunate phrases. Oh, there was a flash of the tree there. Maybe that was where Drone Man Dan lost his drone.
It did amuse me earlier when Jacob was talking about Drone Man Dan being very happy to be back in receipt of the drone, having crashed into his. It was something about capable
He said
hands.
he's glad to have his machinery back in the capable hands of himself.
Of the man who flew the drone into the tree in the first place.
Yes. Quiet. We're going to gloss over
It's
that.
all right, he's on his phone. He's not paying attention to us.
We love him, really. He does provide us with fantastic shots when it's in flight.
There's a race going on.
There is a race going on.
And there's a battle actually over third place,
yes.
as the Loughborough A kart from second place are in the pits, but Exeter A and the University of Wales Trinity St David fighting over third place on the road at the moment.
I'm interested by the University of Wales Trinity St David because they had a slow lap time that I recorded as them pitting, which is A, very uncharacteristic, and B, is a very impressive stop if it was their stop. Not implausible as their stop, but...
No, that's too quick.
Is it too quick?
That's too quick.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's a... It's got to be.
Fair enough.
Because basically, when the lap comes through for there being stopped lap, it's actually 2 laps.
In which case...
And a pit stop.
Yes, but in which case I simply asked the question, what happened?
What
If
did
wasn't
happen?
a pit stop, what was it?
But no, it would match up because they are effectively a lap. They were on the same lap as Sheffield A. They are now a full lap behind if they've had a spin.
Yes.
Cone penalty for Loughborough B. The 49. There's second place. Exeter A running well in the endurances yet again.
Yeah, they're one of those teams, aren't they, that keep pulling the performances out of the bag in the endurances, much in the same way as I've thought in recent years, at least, of Oxford Brooks.
Yep.
Although I don't know if I can say the same with Brooks this year. I keep saying, oh, they're very strong in the Enduros. Not done a bad job in the Enduros, but not quite as dominant as I think Brooks have been in the past.
Trouble in the pits. Double stacked on both Bowsers. 68 gets away, but the 22 have been held up, and I think the 47 as well.
Yeah, that's what you don't want. The last thing you want is... It's annoying if you make a mistake in your own pit stop. It's even more annoying if you have to wait for somebody else.
That's UWEA, who had pulled themselves back up the field quite well. They were 12th. They led momentarily earlier on in this race, then had a spin. We're back up into the top 20 now. The other kart in question was Nottingham B, who were around the lower edges of the top 30.
Sheffield A are in, we're hearing.
Yep.
Wait to see if
there they are, in the pits.
So come down here. Yep, we are indeed. Cross down to Jacob.
Down here in the pit lane we have our race leader, Rob Newman, just about to take his helmet off. We'll give him a few seconds. Rob, hell of a stint. You're way out in front. Do you reckon you can win this? I don't know about how far. I've got a
penalty
time on me. You got a penalty? Yeah. Well, we'll get James to figure out how far ahead you are. By the time he's got it up, he should tell you afterwards. Still very slippy?
Very slippy, yeah. And it keeps changing, so it's 1 minute it's fast, and the next minute you're all but shop. It's very hairy. A few hairy moments out there.
Remind us who's gone in for you?
Ash.
Okay. When I spoke to you on the grids, you didn't mention anything about Gary. Did you want to congratulate him?
On who? Sorry?
Gary, did you want to congratulate on winning the Oscar? You're not close?
Who's Gary?
Gary Newman.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm joking. It's Gary Oldman who won the Oscar. I'm just making a bit of a joke. But good luck for the rest of the race. He won Best Actor for Winston Churchill. Yeah. Fun fact for you: Gary Newman.
Gary Newman.
He's 13 days older than Gary Oldman.
Is he?
Yes.
That's so really.
Yes.
Look at that.
Are you related to Gary Newman?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you like the song Cars?
Yeah.
Do you know it? You know it. You'll know if you hear it. Right, back out onto the track. This is just degenerated. Back to you, Andrew and Howard.
Apologies, folks, on Mixler. They are now back with us. Thank you very much. This is the Double Dash Motorsport Media commentary team here at Hooton Park, round 6, of the British Universities Karting Championship for 2018. We're expecting a few more pit stops. Exeter A and the University of Wales, Trinity St David get to stop. Imperial up there in third. They must not have stopped yet, surely.
Not by my records, no.
So there is still your effective leader, number 12 of Sheffield A, but we're keeping an eye on this gap between them and Oxford Brookes B. It's coming down, and it's coming down at the rate of about a second a lap. And at that rate, there is enough time. There is enough time for the number 11. You just saw them go through shot there to close in on number 12.
Now bear in mind, of course, although the race is shortened, you're still waiting for the... So I can't remember if it was Wilton Mill, I think it was, wasn't it? Where it did...
Leaders in.
Leaders in, okay.
So this is the expected pit stop from Exeter A. And we can pass down to the pit lane and Jacob Harris.
Andrew, it's a double stint for Exeter. Alistair Mallard jumps out of the car and he's jumped back in, having a bit of trouble pushing him off. But hopefully we can grab Jack Poe if he comes back to talk to us. Jack Poe, you've already been out, yeah?
Yeah.
How's it looking for Exeter?
Quite good, I think. Before coming in, Alistair was second or third, I think. Quite good.
You got some stiff competition from the likes of Sheffield in this race. Do you trust Alistair to bring it home?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got good pace now, and yeah, let's hope he can take it home.
I heard you had a bit of trouble in your sprint race. Were you all right in this one?
Sorry?
I heard you had a bit of trouble in your sprint race. Were you okay out there?
Yeah, no, I was okay here. I was unlucky in my first race with the back marker, but didn't do anything wrong here, so it should be fine.
All right, mate. Good luck. Hopefully speak to you at the end of the race.
Thank you.
Andrew Howard, how's that affect?
And welcome back to the commentary for our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. We were just saying it looks like the track's drying up now. We're now into the 45s. In fact, get this, Oxford Brookes B just did a 43.814 and took more than 2 seconds out of Sheffield A. But there's a black flag. There's a black flag, Howard, for Huddersfield B. They were running in the top 10 as well. So that's not good news for them at all.
Just to answer Jacob's question to us as he crossed back over there, Exeter A emerged in 8th place and have just gone up to 7th place as a result of the black flag that Huddersfield is now in the pits to serve.
It's a bit strange on the camera because I'm looking at the, as there's a penalty for King's College A, there's a couple of cameras where it looks like it's raining quite heavily, but I'm looking out of our commentary box window, I'm not seeing any spots of rain on the window. The sun's starting to peek through, and looking at the lap times as well, they don't look that bad.
I think we're being sneakily obscured from the rather large cloud that's actually above the circuit. But blue sky, it's a good point, mate. Blue skies are coming in towards the circuit.
I think I might have just seen Cranfield A dash into the pits. Number 12's got problems. Yeah, it just looks like there's very localised rain. That's quite strange. Just overturned one. Oh, and wide! And that was the 79, I think, being forced wide by the 8. And the 79 is spun round. Now, this is going to be very interesting as to how this is looked at. 79, just going to remind myself who that is.
Manchester Met.
Thank you. Manchester Metropolitan in intermediate class. Off then. Now. Will that be judged as Exeter ABCing and takeout? This could be a critical loss of points for Exeter, currently in the top 10 in the championship. 8 minutes to go, still expecting the pit stop from the number 13. Imperial have pitted. Been a good recovery drive from them after they had damage on the kart earlier. Well, yes, it's definitely heavy rain now starting to pass over the circuit again. It's a very localised little rain shower here. The lap time to back out beyond the 48 seconds for some drivers.
I'll just flag this up, mate.
Lead's coming down as well. Sorry, Howard. The lead, the effective lead this is between Sheffield and Brooks B is coming down. It's less than 4 seconds now.
If you're trying to pit in an endurance race, when's a good time to pit?
When there's lots of yellow flags.
Yes. Or when it's raining a lot heavier than it was earlier on.
Yes.
Just saying, this somewhat, if it really starts to bucket it down, plays into the hands of UWTSD.
It does. It does indeed. All lap times out beyond the 50-second mark now. We are still waiting on that pit stop from the number 13. They've got to do it in the next 1 minute and 50 seconds. Not seeing anything coming through for Exeter A, so maybe just to be a racing incident or Manchester Metropolitan simply running wide. There's your effective leader of the race, the Sheffield A kart, the number 12, but the lead is now over only 3 seconds. And whilst that's going on, we're going to pass down to the pits and Jacob.
This Trinity St David come in. They are the last to pit, last to make their second stop. Pushed off. I believe it's. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to ask him. I'm getting them very wrong today. James has grabbed him. Who have we got in the helmet?
UWTSD. Harry.
Harry, you pitted from first place. Can Taylor go and finish the job?
I don't know. I lost a bit of time out there because I spun out there, but I don't know. Hopefully.
Very late pit stop. Is that all part of the strategy?
It's usually a bit quieter in the pit lane then, so it works out well, I think.
Like it. All right. Good luck with the rest of the race. Hopefully speak to you later.
All right, cheers.
Andrew Howard, back to you.
Welcome back to the listeners and viewers on Facebook and YouTube. This is brewing nicely. We've got a lead battle, 2.2 seconds between first and second. 5 minutes to go. Everyone's completed the pit stops. Howard, I trust.
Yes, I had a slight heart attack because I thought that the spin for Manchester Metropolitan may have actually stopped them from doing their second pit, but they had already pitted and I had missed it. So everybody has now pitted. I'm delighted to say.
Well, whilst we were away and we were just on Mixley, we were saying how, in fact, has there been a change for the... There has been a change for the lead, and Oxford Brooks B have taken the lead. With 5 minutes to go, they've overhauled a 15-second gap between them and Sheffield A, and they now lead here at Hooton Park.
Fantastic job from them. I hate to... I feel like a penalty. I feel like I'm dishing out penalties here, but they are ones that have already been attributed. Important to bear in mind, Sheffield A did already have the ABC.
Yes. Good point, Howard. Good point.
Nevertheless, no one's ever going to pass up the opportunity to be leading on the road.
Well, now that takes the pressure off. I hope the Oxford Brooks B team have remembered that one, that effectively now they've got about a 12-second lead.
Yep.
They don't need to risk this. And they're doing just the same as what they did in round 5. They're not in the last race, but they're putting the pressure on. They've got the good points. They're going to have, if they can hold on to this, as was that at the back.
That's Sheffield!
That's Sheffield! No! Sheffield A are off at the 4th turn. They've got involved with the back marker. It's the number 61, but Sheffield are going to lose stacks of positions here. They've already got a penalty. They're probably going to lose out to Loughborough A, possibly Exeter as well. But drama here at Hooton Park with 3.5 minutes remaining. Sheffield, who have led the race for so long, are out of it.
I say this not to name and shame. I say this purely as a statement of fact. The 61 is Swansea C, who 7 laps behind. You know,
Yes.
they're in last place. They've clearly had some issues this race. Swansea C.
Sheffield are running again. Sheffield are running again. They're involved with Liverpool A, and I think that was Oxford Brooks C. Wait, no, sorry, it was Leeds Beckett. But now a 26-second lead for Oxford Brooks B. It's good for Loughborough A as well. It gives them an extra point for the round. So as it stands, Oxford Brooks B will finish both of their endurance races with 111 points for round 6. Loughborough A will be on 109. Loughborough C have not done too bad. Loughborough C are putting themselves in a very good position for intermediates. They're on 108. And well, we'll work out the rest of the positions later.
Would you like Howard's rundown of penalties in the top 5 at the moment?
Yes, please.
Interesting. So Brooks B have a clean record. Our race leaders are absolutely fine as far as I'm aware. Loughborough A are in second, have a 5-second cone penalty, but that's fairly inconsequential at this point because they are 12 seconds up the road from Sheffield A, who in turn had an ABC. So Sheffield A at the moment, their ABC would drop them behind Exeter A, but for the fact that Exeter A also has a cone penalty in 4th place, which at the moment, actually that's quite critical. At the moment, Exeter A in 4th place have a cone penalty and are 4.8 seconds up the road from UWTSD.
Oh, who's off? Oh no! It's Cranfield. Cranfield and Callum Brewell are off.
It's the 61
and it's the 61 again. Well, let's not judge, but Callum Brewell is absolutely furious. They were in the top 15. An incident with Swansea C, who just had an incident as well and with the second place kart.
That's their point eligible drive for Cranfield.
Yeah, and that's any chance of Cranfield A finishing somewhere off the bottom of the table today, well and truly gone.
Yes. Unfortunate there. Right, I'll finish that point. So 2nd place have a penalty, but it doesn't matter. 3rd place have a penalty, and that does matter. 4th place have a penalty, and currently that matters. Do UWTSD have anything? This is very difficult. Yes, no, they had a spin, UWTSD, earlier on.
Yeah.
Which I only discovered because I was listening in on Harry Farnell's interview in the pit lane. So whatever it was, it didn't seem to lose him too much time, because right now they're running 5th, possibly a net 4th.
On to the last lap then. And Matt Taylor, in conjunction with Jack Ransom, are going to take a huge win. I cannot understate how big this victory is going to be for Oxford Brooks B. It's going to put them right in pole position, going into Clay Pigeon, going into round 7 to take the BUKC Mains Championship title for this year. We don't know whether it's going to be a round win yet, but round the final corner comes Matt Taylor across the line to win here at Hooton Park. Oxford Brooks B takes 60 points for round 6, along with the 51 that they scored in race 1. It's over to everybody else. Who can beat them? Who can stop Oxford Brooks B taking a double round win here at Hooton Park today?
And I'd say this as well, Andrew, it's one of the most dominant wins we've seen for a while here. Only 4 karts are going to finish on this lead lap.
Here comes Freddie Fincham. We've not talked about Loughborough A much, but this is an important position as well. Loughborough A takes 2nd. It's 11th and 2nd for them. They're going to end the day on 109 points, and that's useful. That's a useful amount of points. Okay, it's not ahead of Oxford Brooks B, but it's going to give them a good score and a chance of retaining the title when we go to Clay Pigeon in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. Sheffield A crossed the line 3rd, but they do have a penalty to be applied for ABC.
But will it not matter because
no,
Exeter have got their own penalty?
Indeed, precisely so, and therefore, yes, I think they're all negated. If everyone's penalised, nobody is. Sort of effect going on there.
Makes my life a lot easier.
That's not how you should treat penalties, though, boys and girls. Penalties are costly and matter a lot, but in this particular instance, they haven't made a lot of difference. But yeah, definitely one of the most dominant wins that we have seen for a while, I think, in endurances.
So Oxford Brooks B finished their day with a victory for Jack Ransom and Matt Taylor. Loughborough A finished second. Sheffield A third. Exeter A fourth. University of Wales Trinity St David's Swansea finish in fifth. And then it was Oxford Brooks D in sixth. Aston A, we didn't talk about them much in that race, but what a fantastic drive from Aston A. Up there in the endurance events again with 7th place. Oxford Brooks C stalled coming out the pit lane, lost potentially crucial points. They finished 8th. Leeds Beckett A were 9th. 10th for Loughborough C. 11th for UEA. 12th for Kingston A. 13th Brunel A. 14th for Warwick B. Excuse me one moment. 15th for Swansea A. 16th for King's College A. 17th for Cambridge A. 18th for Liverpool A, all of those 4 teams intermediates. 19th for Cranfield A. They'll be gutted about that after that late spin due to the incident with Swansea C. Apologies for the folks on Mixer, I think we just had a bit of a bandwidth issue, but we are now back. 20th place for Imperial A, 21st for Oxford A, then it was Loughborough B, Birmingham B, Manchester Met, Aston B, Leeds B, Huddersfield B, Nottingham C, Newcastle B, Nottingham B, Bristol A, Swansea B, Coventry A, Warwick E, Newcastle C and Swansea C, who finished 18 laps down. Oh dear. But that's it. We've got one more race to go then. It's going to be a crucial one, Howard.
It absolutely is. And the blue sky that we were talking about, we weren't lying, folks. It was on the horizon. It's here. The sun's out. You'd never know it was raining a moment ago. And it was raining quite heavily. So this is it then, going into the final race of the day. Let's cross down to the grid with Jacob Harris to get drivers' thoughts ahead of that final race.
Thank you, Howard. I believe we have pictures down on the grid. James has just run off to try and sort it out. Presumably it's worked. We have with us the race winners of race number 2, Matt Taylor and Jack Ransom of Oxford Brooks B. Matt, you finished that race. How good was the finish line?
Yeah, it was very good. A bit of a mixed race, really. Like, you go around one corner, one time, like, really quickly, and the next lap you wouldn't be able to make it around a corner. So I like it, like, corner by corner. And apparently I was like 2 seconds faster than anyone, so I don't know. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was good. Fun, good fun.
Jack, similar conditions when you were out?
Yeah, it was pretty interchangeable. It was an interesting race, but quite enjoyable. It makes it more fun, I guess. Especially on, I mean, this track, I said I've driven it, so just trying to find where the grip was quite hard. But it turns out, I got told it from the driver, but it seems to drive really quick now. So it was just trying to, I think just being aggressive.
Matt, I'll pose this question to you. Does this mean Oxford Brooks B are our favourites for the title?
Of course. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Strong confidence. Jack, the man who's going to go home with 3 gold medals. Brooks B, BUKC champions 2018.
Well, we'll see what happens. We've got another round to go, but if we carry on like this, hopefully keep fingers crossed. No reason why not. That's true.
And if you're ever short of money, cash for gold will love a man like yourself. Right, thank you for talking to us, guys. That's Matt Taylor and Jack Ransom, Oxford Brooks B, who I believe now will be leading the championship after this round. A very strong showing for them in the last 3 or 4 rounds now. Surpassing their 18, who many people would have said were likely to be title favourites at the start of the year, especially with the turnover of drivers reigning champions Loughborough had. But yeah, they've really pulled it out of the bag, and what lovely guys they are as well. Okay, race number 3 coming up round about next. We're going to go see who we've got on the grid. Who have we got here on pole position? Who have we got? Jasper from Swansea. Jasper, pole position, bit slippy. Are you worried about going down to turn 1 first?
A little bit. I'm worried about these lot messing it all up for me, but...
Who are you paired up with?
Sorry?
Who are you paired up with?
I have Jeremy, just there. He's doing the middle stint for me.
Jasper and Jeremy, is that the dream team?
Always the dream team.
Is that the best Swansea have got?
Oh, it's not B car. It's the best the B team have got.
Okay.
The A car.
Are the A's in this race?
Sorry?
Are the A's in this race?
All 3 carts in this race. They're starting about 13th, 15th, something like that.
You stave them off from there?
Oh, always. Easy.
I love your confidence.
Cheers for that.
Good luck for your race. Let's go see who else is lining up on the grid.
Thank you. See you later.
Swansea there, Swansea B. Pole position. And in second place, we have, I don't recognise number 68. Who have we got?
Nima.
Nima. Warwick E. Warwick E. We're a surprise entry to this race. How are you finding it?
We're running pretty well. Second last. But I'm going to try and keep it in second for this race, trying to bring it home on the podium, hopefully.
Like your confidence. Who are you sharing with?
Who am I sharing with? Charlie over here. Excellent driver. So,
so you're both very competent, very capable.
Very confident, very capable.
Looking forward to seeing how you do. You seem like an assured young man. Glad to hear it. We'll go see who else is around you, see if they're as assured as you are. Warwick E there. In behind them we have Leeds. I've been meaning to talk to Leeds. I've been meaning to get a chat with Mr. Goodwin. Is he around? Race 1, we've missed him. Who's in the car? Ben. So, last time out we had a bit of a scandal, shall we say, when we found Mr. Goodwin on Tinder. And apparently he had a girlfriend at the time. Do you think the fact that he was on Tinder
so apologies for some of the audio issues that we're having down on the grid with Jacob. But we are preparing for... I feel so sorry for him because I can see on the camera he's still doing the interview. Anyway, we are preparing to go into the final race. The weather has improved. So it may be that we get some dry running again before the day is through. Here's the drone cam! Oh, I've missed it, so now please be careful of the trees, Mr. Drone Man Dan. He is a very competent pilot, but he has unfortunately been exploring some of the perimeter foliage of Hooton Park today. I think on the whole the review is going to be that Hooton Park has provided some really decent racing for us today, when all's said and done. It's been a good first visit, if not a little bit damp at the start. And of course towards the end, as we've just seen in that race with the rain. But it's been a good first visit, I think, for BUKC and Club 100 as a whole. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching that. And if you're wondering, by the way, why you're listening to me prattle on, and not the lovely tones of Mr. Mather, that's because he's doing his usual maths exam towards the end of the round to see who is where with respect to the round, with respect to the championship, with respect to the lot,
and if any teams come in and have penalties that ruin the spreadsheet of doom, I'm going to chase them all the way away from Merseyside. Thank you.
Yes, I will say this diplomatically. Mr. Mather has been getting rather irate at the number of penalties today and the result it's had on his spreadsheet of doom. He's very close to calling some teams along the same lines as the acronym that Spreadsheet of Doom spells out. I would, in addition to, of course, JV saying for perfectly good safety reasons, don't incur penalties, just for the purposes of our sanity, please, drivers, don't give us harder maths to do. We are, as I've said about 3 times, we're preparing to go into this final race of the day. And it's still wide open, but Brooks B in that last race took a very, very important step, I think, towards, well, another important step towards potentially winning this championship. It's been a very impressive bid for Brooks B, particularly over the last 3 or 4 rounds, and yeah, we were starting to get to the situation where it's looking like they're the horse to back from Brooks's perspective. In fact, I think that might be an out-of-date statement. I think they are the horse to back from Brooks's perspective. So do keep your comments coming in. I should say one little service announcement. JV did announce around the circuit that we were switching streams for this final race. As far as I'm aware, we are not doing that. So by all means, share the stream. But I don't think we're going to need to switch
unless the director/producers tell me otherwise. Now is a good opportunity to talk about the PLD charity event at Wilton Mill. Mr. Mather is better. Well, do we have the date for that on this one? 31st of March. Ah, yes, Saturday the 31st of March. So it's in 3 weeks from now. The PLD charity event run at Wilton Mill with Club 100 machinery. Paul Lee Davis trophy in conjunction with cancer research. So if you can give to that, please do. We shared the link on our very own Double Dash Motorsport Media page the other day. Club 100 have also been sharing it on their Facebook page. So please, or you can just search for it, find out about it. If you can, give whatever you can to that. It's a very worthy cause, and as I was saying earlier, a cause that's very dear to many in the Club 100 karting family for that. So, kart's getting underway for the final race, and to that end, I'm hoping that the grid is about to scroll up the screen. There we go. Right. Row 1 then for this, race 3 of round 6. We'll have Swansea B on pole with Warwick E starting alongside. Brunel A will start in third with Leeds B closing out the second row of the grid. Row 3 will be Newcastle C and Nottingham B. Nottingham B, I think, they've had a couple of good drives today. So they'll be looking to finish off the day well. Bristol A starts from 7th place on the grid, and Cambridge A round out row 4. Important to note, the reason you can't see any drivers' names is because they're competing in pairs with this. They do the driver swaps at the pit stops. Imperial A will start from 9th on the grid, and then rounding out the top 10 will be Manchester Metropolitan A. One of the teams, I think it may be fair to say, who could have done with fewer penalties today and could have got a much better result had they have done so. Row 6 on the grid is Aston B with Warwick B alongside. Row 7 will be Swansea A and the number 5 of Oxford A. Row 8 on the grid will be Swansea C and Aston A. And then in 17th place and 18th place respectively will be Oxford Brook C and King's College A. Rounding out the top 20 will be Exeter B in 19th, who will be, how can we put this, looking for a better race than their first one this round after it was quite a penalty-ridden run in race 1. So this is their second go at scoring some good points. And then Warwick A will start 20th, rounding out the top 20 and the 10th row of the grid. Row 11 will be Bath A and Northumbria A, and then row 12 will be Leeds A and Newcastle A. James de Havilland I've spotted out the window starting for them in the number 45. 25th on the grid will be the ever consistent, ever impressive Nottingham A, and then also one of the consistent front runners in the BUKC Southampton A will start alongside them in the number 15. Brighton, the number 29 car, starts from 27th, and then Brooks A will start 28th. Birmingham A in the number 10, they start 29th, and then rounding out the top 30 is Coventry B. And then Nottingham Trent A and Leeds C make up your 16th row of the grid. Are we going to have time just to go through the last couple of rows? We are. Birmingham C start 33rd with Brunel B 34th. And then rounding out the 36 kart grid, we have lost the graphic. Who's running it?
I don't think they get put on anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, right.
We've got a race start anyway.
Last race of the day, round 6 of the BUKC 2018. Oh, there's all kinds of loading going on. What on earth is going on there? That was a shocking start, and there's going to be a lot off here. That was the worst start I've seen in the BUKC in 6 years. That was awful.
That was all kinds of bad. That was honestly a bit of a masterclass in Here's how you don't do a rolling start in Club 100 karts. And
surely that's a restart.
Yes, it is. It is.
Surely that's a
It is full start.
What on earth happened there? In a way, though, happy accident. Don't think anyone's hurt. We can go through championship permutations. Oxford Brooks lead the... Actually, let's do intermediate first because that's nice and easy. It's 2 teams for the Inters winning this one. It's Loughborough C. They're done, 108 points. The only team that can beat them is Newcastle A, and they have to win the race to do so. So there's that one. Let's just see this again. You can see it's coming all the way back.
Me. It's on the anti-pole
Come on,
side.
drivers.
So the anti-pole side, the left-hand side, had a huge amount of bumping, and then you could just see from there was a sense of inevitability that people were going around. Yeah, that was
ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. I mean, it all
and
starts...
it's knocked 4 minutes off the race time.
Yeah. 4?
Yes.
That's an oddly specific amount, but fair enough.
Will's just told me.
Fair enough. He's the boss with this thing. With these things.
Right, let's go through who could win round 6. Same as we were this morning. Oxford Brooks B are in the lead of the round, and they're done. Oxford Brooks B have 111 points, so I'm just going to read out the list of teams who can beat them. Let's not go into points right now. And to be honest, most of these teams are actually a fair way down the grid. Southampton A, Nottingham A, Northumbria A, Huddersfield A, Brooks A, Aston A, Trent A, Warwick A, and Brooks C. They all pretty much have to finish, we're talking top 5 and further, but those are the teams that could stop Oxford Brooks B from taking a double round victory here at Hooton Park today, as long as the drivers can get and do a start properly. Unlike that last one.
I'm going to disagree and say it's the worst start I've seen. I can think of one at Rye House that went horrendously wrong, and also one at Wilton Mill where half the field ended up facing the wrong way.
Well, the fact it was going wrong even before they reached the start line.
I think it was the fact that, I mean...
I've never seen so many drivers' heads bob back like that.
Let's be fair to the drivers at the front of the queue. Once you're being pushed...
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. So it's not as necessarily passing judgment on particular drivers or saying, oh, the front got away, the balked the rest or whatever. It's just a chain reaction of people doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you could see it loading up so much on drivers left, the right as we looked at it, the anti-pole side of the grid. That's what you don't do. You don't go bumping and bashing into the kart in front of you. And you could just see how... And the trouble is that once it begins, you get all these micro reactions of drivers accelerating and braking. Just roll. It's a rolling start. Yes, stay close to the back bumper of the person in front.
Pit stop window's still the same as it was.
Okay.
So just consider that towards the end of the race, we'll be seeing teams pitting pretty much at the end of the race.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
So 1 minute to go of the race, the final pit stop window will close as opposed to the original 5.
That's fine. So the pit stop windows are the same relative to the start of the race.
Yes.
Yes, that's fine. Okay. Shall we try again,
I hope
everyone?
so. Looks like we're going around again, actually.
Yes. No, let's not try again for another lap. Sun's streaming down now, but you can still see the slight haze of... I mean, that is engine smoke in a way, but... it's still damp in certain places, and it's still going to be muddy and wet and horrible if you go off the track.
You're watching live coverage of the BUKC 2018. We're heading into our final race here at Hooton Park near Liverpool, with several teams trying to stop the Oxford Brooks B team from taking a double round victory here at Hooton Park today, and an extended lead in the championship for our last meeting, which is going to be at Clay Pigeon in a few weeks' time. Head over to www.bukc.co.uk for all the details on that one. We will have live coverage of those races and the rookies round, which is on the second day of the finals weekend, and the drivers' championships, which is on the third day of the weekend. It should be a fantastic event. But before we get to that, though, we've got one more race, as we say, here to go at Hooton Park. 38 on pole position for the start of this one. Are we about ready to go, Howard?
Yes,
yeah, looks like we are ready. Here's a crucial race. This is going to be a very important 51 minutes. Swansea B on the front row alongside Warwick E, and the pole side of the grid has got a much better start than the even side of the grid. Are they all going to get through turn 1 this time? No. There's a simple answer, no, as one of the Leeds drivers has gone round. Someone's joining the British Universities Rallycross Championship again, and the front 6 or 7...
3 karts around, Andrew. King's College around as well.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial for intermediates.
And I think it's the Leeds kart that's round is a Premier one, which makes it, I believe, either
26.
A or B. I'm not sure. I haven't caught the number. I'll tell you as
Okay.
they come round.
Penalty for X to B. Where did they start? They started in the mid-pack. They started right in the middle of Bandit City in 19th place. So a penalty for that one.
Yes.
Probably judged to be the cause of those drivers falling off on turn 1. There's the Newcastle C kart having a look. I think that was at Bristol.
So it
was indeed. That's for second place.
It's King's College, it's Brunel B, and it's Leeds B, who are your karts round at turn 1. The start has been called good.
Yep.
And X to B, is it harsh for me to say the words picking up where they left off?
No.
Yeah. Sorry, X to B, but I'm afraid you need to sort yourselves out a little bit when it comes to these races.
Anyway, Swansea B, Jasper Chamberlain, who's had a fantastic day, really impressed with Jasper's driving today, has got a clear lead ahead of Newcastle C. Then it's, well, just about everybody else. There's a contacts warning for Nottingham Trent A and Brunel A. 1.4 seconds now the lead for Swansea B. Remember, the pit stop windows will be exactly the same, so we're counting up here, 2 minutes into the race. Start of 5 minutes, we'll see the first pit window open. But it looks to me as if Newcastle C starting to pull away, so there's a cone penalty for Coventry B.
Yeah, having challenges sent to us by Jacob.
It's the end of the day, I'm sure we can get that in at some point. But there's a race going on at the moment. Oxford BUKC are on the move. I can see them in the number 3. Contact warning for Leeds A, the number 26.
And they've already had a cone penalty. Now, have we talked about the penalty for cone penalties?
Briefly, we kind of hinted on it during the second race, but yes, the stewards have taken the decision, and I'm fully aligned with them on this one. 2 cone penalties equals a 2-minute stop-and-go penalty. Seems harsh, seems draconian, but it's needed because some of the cone abuse today has been horrendous.
Yes. It's for the sake of Colin.
Leave Colin alone.
Stop. He is. I'm looking out the window.
And
now.
I'm looking at you, Bathe, as there's one for them.
Yes.
Leave my mate Colin alone. 3 wide going into... Oh, all kinds of pushing there with Bristol A fighting back there. Birmingham A starting to come through the field. There's a cone penalty for Swansea C. I just don't understand this sometimes, Howard. The drivers have had enough warning. That's a great move by Oxford BUKC. Going through. Okay. Brunel A just about holding on. Harry Taylor's involved in there for Manchester Metropolitan. I just don't understand this, Howard. The drivers have had so many warnings now about cone penalties, yet they keep hitting them.
Yeah, it's and I challenge anyone watching the stream. Look at where the cones are. They're not on the curb.
No, they're well back.
Yeah, there's no reason to be hitting these curbs, hitting these cones even in the way that they are. There is plenty of racing room. And it's not as if, it's expected that nobody will ever hit a cone, Yeah, okay, someone may be forced wide on the right-hander of that chicane and collect some of the bollards. But on the whole, it's a demonstration of a lack of... that's something I thought I'd never see you Googling.
Never mind.
If anyone's not clocked yet, the last corner on Jacob's trap map, he's calling the last lap Bonnie Tyler. I'm not quite sure where that name comes from. He doesn't know. Okay. She's a famous... Well, I know who she is, but I wasn't questioning who Bonnie Tyler is. I was questioning why her name's been given to a corner. As
Birmingham A joined my naughty list.
Turn around, right? Okay. There's a cone penalty for Birmingham.
Oh, for goodness sake! I think that was the 22.
Okay. Well, we'll keep
as
eyes peeled.
Turn around, Bonnie Tyler.
Well done.
Yes, it's a cone penalty for the 79.
Got the reference.
And a cone, in fact, it was for the 22. Oh dear, this isn't a good race so far for the cone penalties.
You know, when it comes.
And I know it's the case with Colin that every now and then he gets a little bit lonely when the teams are never coming around. But this is just getting a bit ridiculous now. Here we go. This was the 22 trying to send the bollard into space. Nearly got into orbit. It's all right. You'll get there eventually. Cone penalty again for number 60, lead C. I apologise, everyone. Grumpy Mr. Mathers coming back for the first time since qualifiers. Cone penalty again for the 79.
And I tell you, stop. Don't incur Andrew's wrath, because otherwise I'm going to have to be holding out for a hero.
Stop. Oh, what has this stream turned into? Here's a battle. It's for the lead. It's Swansea B and Oxford Brookes C. Now there's a proper piece of driving around Bonnie Tyler Corner. There's a cone penalty, and just to say that there's a cone penalty now for the ex-leader of 38 Swansea B. I don't think John's going to have enough room in the pit lane to get all of these drivers in for 2-minute stop and goes at the same time.
No.
Have we said the pit window's open as well?
The pit window is open. I'm not aware of any. I will try. Let's try and keep track of these. If everyone could just stop having penalties for a bit, and I will try and record some pit windows.
So Oxford Brookes C lead then. I'm just going to have a check on how they're doing in terms of the round. This would leave it in an interesting situation. It would leave it as an exact tie, which means, as there's another cone penalty for Manchester Metropolitan. I'm sorry, I need to get it out the way. Manchester Metropolitan have been one of the worst offenders today for penalties. I would have thought they would have learnt from round 5 when they cost themselves a win in the intermediate class with the penalties, but clearly they haven't. I know they're new, and I know this is a new circuit for everybody, but, you know, come on, it just gets to a ridiculous stage at some point. And I think we passed through it about an hour ago. Good move, that. That was a really good move from Nottingham B. I think it might be Chris Gristwood back at the wheel of that one, going past Imperial A. And was that the number 2? Yes, it was the number 2, Oxford Brookes A. Now, this is a big one. Oxford Brookes A starting to come to the fore. We were talking about earlier how they need a really good round here. They're starting to put themselves in the position to do that. Cone penalty for the 29 of Brighton A. This is just getting ridiculous now. But they need 3 more positions. In fact, no, just 2, because no, 3. It would be 3 because, of course, Oxford Brookes B have a race victory on their card. Looks like it's Joe Bleakley at the wheel of the Brookes. That can't be Bleakley, can it? Because he's in the B cart, and that's an A cart number. Someone's confusing me from the Oxford Brookes team. They're wearing Joe's suit, but they're in the A cart. Might be Jamie Zyra. I say that because I think Joe Bleakley and Jamie Zyra are a similar height.
Isn't that Matthew Lewis?
Oh, someone's in the wall. Someone's deep in the wall.
Oh, wow.
That's the similar area where we saw Birmingham A go off in the first endurance race. Driver looks okay. It's 27.
It's Brunel B.
Brunel B. But that's a driver who's had better days.
Nope. Oh. We're going to get a replay of that one on...
Nope,
well,
not quite. Pit stops. Have we got anyone making them?
We have. Leeds A have made a pit stop. Brighton have made a pit stop. Swansea have made a pit stop. Bristol have made a pit stop. Manchester Metropolitan, I believe, have made a pit stop. So, plenty of people pitting. Birmingham A have recently stopped, as have Huddersfield A and Brunel A. Aston B have just emerged from one of theirs as
Right,
well.
here we
So
go. Here's a replay. There's a black flag for Huddersfield.
Yeah, I just saw that come up on the ABC takeout.
And that's gonna destroy their chances of winning this round. Brooks A are in. They're starting to fall down the order.
Oh, so there's that a cart that we were seeing there pulling into the pit lane, and the other driver nearby wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, I think it was Brooks A nearly tripping over the cart coming in.
I
was just about to say that we've not seen a cone penalty in about 60 seconds. 45 has had a spin around. Down at, I forget now, is that the boomerang corner? Another cone penalty for Brighton. Surely that's going to be them coming in for a 2-minute penalty. Here's the 4 and 6. Tom Seddon leading ahead of Stephen Letts for Nottingham and Huddersfield respectively. Michael Gibbons is back out there again for Birmingham A. Birmingham A not really racing for anything in this one due to the issue that they had in the first race. Black flag for Southampton A. That's another one of our potential winners of the round gone.
Hitting a cart under yellow flag conditions.
I'm not even going to say anything on that one. They had won race 1, so that's ruined their chances of winning round 6. Once again, do you know who this is all playing into the hands of again?
Is it Brooks B?
It is Brooks B.
It's Brooks B, who aren't in this race, remember.
Aren't
They're
even
done.
in this race.
They can't do anything else.
And if they do win this round, it's fully deserved, because they've done something that not a lot of teams have done today. They've raced consistently, they've raced within the rules, and they've got the results to show for it.
Yeah. We were just watching a battle, in fact we are still watching a battle between Warwick A and Northumbria A, which is over 8th place on the road, as the carts that have yet to stop becomes an ever diminishing.
Oh, off goes the 34, I think that was. They've also managed to somehow get their number plate loose, so they're having an interesting day.
Number 34 is Bristol.
Yep, Bristol A. I think they just got wide through turn 2 and went for a spin. Now, who we're looking at here, I think this is the 31 and the 16. Yes, the 16 of Warwick A. Warwick A putting on a good show in the early parts of this race. 8th place on the road. And closing down now on the number 70, who is a lap or so down. Northumbria A there again. They've had a fantastic day. Really impressed with Northumbria A and what they've done today. Contact warning for Birmingham A. Not too far behind this group of Cambridge A as well, who've had arguably the best day of their season so far. Leeds C having a really good run. I think that was Tom Dent that I just saw go through the front of shot as the 25 is in. That's Bath A, who were up in the top 10. .37 minutes of round 6 for the BUKC 2018 to go. Oxford Brook C lead the race. How are we doing on lap times, Howard, just as you're looking at timing? Oh, black flag for 34.
For speeding in the pit lane, that was.
So if you had that one on your bingo card, well done.
Yeah, we haven't had that one today.
Oxford Brook C, we're in the 40s, aren't we? Now this is quite crucial, because if we get a tiebreaker, I don't think we've had one at the front of the field all season, but endurances, tiebreaker in points, how do we split it, Howard?
Tiebreaker in points will be done, well, firstly based on who has the highest finishing position.
Yep.
So assuming they're not tied, they could potentially, of course, be tied on points for and tied on positions.
which
But,
in endurance quite often happens. Anyway, we'll have to come back to this because we're going to pass down to the grid.
We're not on the grid, Andrew, or however
listeners
that
on
was. We're in the
we'll
pit
finish
lane
that
where
one off.
Swansea
So quite
are stopping from second place. Excellent start from their B team, started on the front row, and they've maintained that position up until now when they pitted. Back out on track, looks like minimal mishaps. Going to send back to you in the studio.
Well, no rain. So the lap times in this race are going to be the quickest that we've seen so far, as our listeners on Facebook and YouTube are back to us, as there's a bit of bumping and barging there by a pusher cart. There's another black flag for the 34. I just don't get what's going on today. 70's had a black flag as well. Fastest laps may come into play here if we have teams that have had the exact same positions. So for example, right now Oxford Brookes B and Oxford Brookes C have both scored a first and a 10th if the race was to finish right now. That would leave them both tied on 111 points, both tied on positions, but Oxford Brookes C would take the 60 points from the round because they've set the faster lap in this round so far, in this very race. Here's King's College London recovering now, 20th place at the moment, just ahead of Coventry B. Ellis B at the wheel, supported greatly by his family and everyone at Dunkswell Karts Racing Club. No doubt they'll be listening. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage here today. Ellis doing a really good job, and they're still in a very strong position in intermediates going into the latter stages of the season. And what we're looking at here, has someone gone off at pit entry? Someone has gone off on pitch entry. They've done a David Coulthard Adelaide 95.
Yes.
I've seen it all today now.
I don't know.
Oh,
blimey!
There's all sorts going on.
Hang on. Is that
Brooks?
I think that is. That looks very.
There's a black flag now for Manchester A. We're trying to work out. It's one of those classic scenarios where we can't see the number. Although, is it a black board? Might be a black board. Might be an Inters team. It is an Inters team. Don't worry, Brooks fans. It's not one of your guys.
Is it suspicion of Bath on my
Come on, guys, show us the number.
38?
38. Swansea B.
Swansea B. Okay.
Well, driver looks okay. The kart doesn't. Cone penalty for 32. They're Swansea teammates. As there's more gesticulation. There's the Leeds B kart of 59 getting going again. Oxford A having a good race. I've just seen them up there. There they are, right on cue, running in 5th place. Nottingham are a lap down on them as the leader's in. Nottingham Trent A, pit, running along quite nicely. They've got a chance of winning this round, remember. 3 is in as well, and we're going to head down to the pits and see who Jacob's got for a chat.
Okay, sorry about that, microphone issues. Brookes C, you'll see on camera, just heading out. They were in the lead before they pitted. I'm going to try and grab their driver. He's not making himself readily available. In fact, he's walking away from me. There goes the number 38, the person who crashed on pit entry. Unfortunately, the Brookes drivers have not seen me, and we're just going to have to head back to you, Andrew and Howard. We'll grab them a bit later on.
C leading this race now then, as in comes 35, Northumbria A from 2nd place. Welcome back for our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, so the 19 has a bit of a moment there. And who will look, this is the Swansea C driver. Michael Gibbons and Birmingham A just behind them. Tom Seddon just in front. So this is actually a battle that's going on for 6th place between Nottingham and Birmingham. Not the first time I've seen that today, with Nottingham and Birmingham fighting over positions. Nottingham B closing up behind Oxford A, who now sits second on the road. And I've just seen something, Howard. Are my eyes deceiving me, or Swansea C were in the lead? Because I think that was them just running wide.
Yes, I think Swansea C were in the lead,
and it was them running wide. Oh, wow. Talk about that for a commentator's curse. Swansea C momentarily led, and just as we were realising they were in the lead, they binned it. But they've kept going. Oxford A lead the race with half an hour to go, 20 minutes down, there or thereabouts. So here we go. Swansea C were in the lead, and it was Michael Gibbons up the inside for Birmingham A, shoving them out the way. That might be a bit interesting. That might be a penalty coming the way of Birmingham. As who's this coming into the pit lane? It is the number 5. It's our leader. Leaders in. Oxford are in. Good for them. They've led a race. Swansea C are back into the lead. Fantastic. But they've not pitted yet. And they've got 5 minutes to do so. Here, well, we just saw momentarily the battle between Nottingham and Birmingham. And I think we are going to head down to the grid, and I think we've got some Oxford people in the pits to talk to.
We haven't got people just yet, Andrew. They've struggled to get the kart out. They've still been pushing. They were in the lead,
so
that's going to dent their chances.
Mixler stream.
I'll call them over now for an interview if they see me. Come over here. So we got Oxford. We got the whole team other than whoever's out driving. Double stint, so we can't get the driver. Guys, who's out there?
Tom, he's doing really well. He's up to 4th at one point.
He was up in the lead. That's why we were interviewing you. Yes. You didn't realise. They didn't realise he was in the lead. I was about to say, what do you think his chances are? But clearly you don't race him.
He's going to win. Yeah.
He's going to win. What second opinion?
I don't know. I'm following, so if I can do as well as Tom is doing, then hopefully, but that's a lot of pressure. So.
And third opinion?
He's doing well. He did really well in the sprint, so I'm pretty sure he'll win easily. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
We got lots of confidence in the Oxford team here. What time are you going out?
I am going out at about 32 minutes, just as the second pit window opens.
32 minutes. Keep your eye on that. For now, back to you, Andrew and Howard.
Thanks, guys. Hey, he's winning.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
I cannot wait for the James Johnston production of this one, because
this is amazing. With Swansea C in the lead. Sorry, we've just done a merge again of our Mixler and Facebook and YouTube viewers and listeners. Yes, and Swansea C pit. I believe. So the dream is over, but do you know what? Thanks, Swansea C.
That has been one of my moments of the season.
That's been amazing. Can I make an announcement that I don't want to make?
Yes.
We are not yet halfway through the race, and I'm proud. I'm
proud?
The opposite of proud. I'd like the entire field to know that a third of the field have now incurred some form of cone penalty.
Wonderful.
Current leaders in that is Manchester Metropolitan A, who have 3 cone penalties, an advantage by contact, and have, of course, served the black flag for having 2 cone penalties.
Here's the battle going on. This is still Nottingham and Birmingham, who seem to have been fighting each other all day. This is now over second place for Tom Seddon and Michael Gibbons, but I know the number 10 has a penalty. Not sure about the number 4, but I'm sure Howard will be able to update me in a moment. There's more drivers off at the Boomerang.
What info would you like about that?
Number 4 is up the inside, goes Gibbons and
been
through.
By Birmingham A, mate. That's my
Michael Gibbons through and past Tom Seddon. Has Tom Seddon got a penalty?
No.
Excellent. Well done, Tom. Black flag for the number 27, Brunel B. I'm guessing that's a cone-related one.
Yes, it is. It's for 2 cone abuses. For them. Yeah. And also Nottingham Trent have just got a black flag for exactly the same thing.
Oh, now that's a big one, because they were in a chance of winning the round, and that will probably be gone. And just as we say that, Oxford BUKC have got a cone penalty.
Yeah.
And they're the other team that are threatening Oxford Brookes B's chances of winning the round. This is once again just the same as round 5, although we didn't fully realise it at the time, playing right into the hands of championship leaders Oxford Brookes B.
Right. I was about to say, would you like to do a bit of an update on the top runners and the penalties? I'm not sure I want to do this.
I think you do, because the pit window just closed.
Okay, so at this point in the race, it is representative what their positions are. And we have Brookes A leading. I'm delighted to say, over the moon to say, that they have no penalties whatsoever.
Well done.
In second place is Birmingham A, who have a cone penalty. In third place is Nottingham A, who have nothing. No penalties. Nottingham B are fourth, no penalties for them either. Leeds A in fifth on the road have a penalty for knocking a cone and a penalty for multiple contacts, so that's 15 seconds worth of penalties for them. Warwick A, they have no penalties. Neither do Brunel A. Leeds C, who are running very well for a C team. We've seen Leeds C have a few good runs this season. I'm thinking of Julian Couch at the qualifiers, but I'm afraid they do have a cone penalty. As we have a replay here, this is the pass of Gibbons on Tom Seddon, and Tom Seddon just sort of switching to the conventional line, opened the door and allowed Michael Gibbons through. Little love tap from Seddon at the end of it all.
We'll get up to it when we get to championship permutations in a minute, but I've got some very exciting news about Tom Seddon and Nottingham.
No?
Never mind.
Okay. I should say, Stu Stretton's just come in and did a little bit of photography. I'm worried he's photographed us sitting down, which hardly ever happens when we're commentating. We're going to come across...
I think we should stand up now.
We need to stand up.
Stand up.
I don't know. There we go. It's still going to have chairs in the shot, though, so it's not going to work. But there we go.
And we've just spoilt the illusion for everybody on the stream.
We have been sat down for the endurance.
We've been that exasperated by the cone penalties, we've not even been able to stand.
Yes. So, Oxford Brookes A. Cheers, Stu. So, Oxford Brookes A lead this one. With Birmingham A in second, but not in second because they have a cone penalty. So, Nottingham A are your real second place. Birmingham A are then your net third place runners, with Nottingham B in fourth, and Leeds A. No, Leeds A had penalties as well, so they're not in fifth in reality. It's Warwick A. There's your sort of top five, courtesy of Howard and his fudged together spreadsheet.
Right, championship and round. This is a plea. This is an unbiased plea to Nottingham. Please. Do not. There you are, Tom Seddon, on the screen. I'm going to channel this positive vibe to you. Do not get a penalty, because right now it could happen. Nottingham A could finally win an overall round in the BUKC. They are penaltyless. They have got a second and a third as it stands, and that is a good 2 points clear of Oxford Brookes A.
Sorry. Nottingham A just got a contact warning.
Oh, for goodness sake, Tom.
As did Aston B.
So anyone from anyone from Nottingham, anyone knowing anyone from Nottingham, get your phone out right now and say, Mr. Mather on the commentary says, bring this one home, boys and girls.
I hate to keep sounding like I have an agenda here, but Manchester Metropolitan also have received a second black flag for a second advantage by contact, on top of their first black flag, which was for a second cone infringement. And by the way, they have a third cone infringement in hand, so if they get another cone infringement, they will get their third black flag. I'm just saying it as it is. Yeah, now, if you're wondering why that's significant, the point that Andrew was just making, Nottingham A have been such a consistent team in the recent, in fact, I say recent history. I don't know of a time in the BUKC when they weren't consistently near the front. They were our inaugural champions, of course, back in 2001, I want to say. And in all the time that Andrew and I have followed and watched and taken part in and commentated on the BUKC, we have never seen them win a round as a black flag comes in for Manchester Metropolitan A.
Take him off the road. Sorry.
I'm just going to add that into my spreadsheet. So, yes, Nottingham have never won a round. Well, this is a completely meaningless statistic. As long as Andrew and I have known, Nottingham haven't won a round. But seriously, it has been many, many years since they had a round victory. And this could finally be it at the moment, as there's a penalty for Birmingham A for advantage by contact. The second pit window's open, though, as far as I'm aware.
Great shot from Drone Man Dan. Free from any trees. And good bit of space there. It just seems that everyone is on the one side of the circuit. You can see a huge gaggle of karts coming through turn 4 now. Where's our leader? Oxford Brooks A, how are they doing? Apart from being in the lead, of course.
They're doing well, and by the way, I mentioned Birmingham A got a penalty. That's significant, of course. They're in second place.
Yes. King's College in. Manchester Metropolitan in for another. Let's watch this. Look at the. I'm sorry. Look at the hand of what did I do? How can you not know? As the number 19 comes in. Penalty for Southampton. King's College London, set off again. Another good pit stop from them. Let's have a look at how they're doing in terms of this round. It's not too bad, you know. It's decent points again for their hopes in intermediate.
There's been 2 penalties handed out for multiple contact in the last minute to Southampton A and Brunel A respectively. There's 10 seconds added to their race at the end.
Hello to Matt Pearce, who's saying great coverage, guys. Thank you, Matt. Glad to hear that you're enjoying it. But no, let's just have a quick rundown then of the standings. Although I'm just going to check where Nottingham trends are, because what I've got on my sheet here is wrong. Yeah, they're down in 30th place now. They're well and truly out of it, which is a shame, because they could have got a second podium in a row overall had they not had their issues. So, okay, right. Here's how we're looking. Nottingham A currently on the road at least, and it should get better for them once Birmingham A take in that penalty. A second and third place gives them 117 points in the lead. Brooks A, Brooks B, Brooks C are then second, third, fourth and fourth, and Loughborough A are fifth in this round. We're going to head down to the pit lane and Jacob.
Yeah, it looks like your suit. Yeah, you're wearing Joe's suit. Jamie. What? Where's your stuff?
Being sprayed. And my suit,
what, your suit's
ripped.
Are they your boots at least?
Yeah, and my gloves. That's all.
That'll do. Mate, you pitted from first, and you were first after first round of pit stops. Can you take it home?
Hope so. It'd be nice to. Put the quicker driver in now.
Who's that?
Kyle. So.
What can he do around here? Is he any good?
Yeah, he was really quick in his sprint race, so 29th to second.
Like it. It's not been a great day for you guys. Just going to put some icing on a not very nice cake.
Yeah, hopefully. Be nice to come away with a win. So.
How did you do in the other endurance?
I think they come 6th.
So a win here to right for the podium.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thanks for talking to us, Jamie. Back to you, Andrew and Howard.
It's a paint job on there. Welcome back to the Double Dash Motorsport Media commentary team here on Facebook and YouTube. For our Mixler listeners, we never went away. Someone's run very wide through Bonnie Tyler there, and are they just going to about keep it going? Come on, bounce in the cart. You can get that going again, and yes, they can. But it's Diego Martinez. It's Southampton, and well, they're already having a really bad race, and it's just gone from bad to worse for them. Nottingham B are having a very long pit stop, I think. I just caught there the number 22. And that's not a pit stop, that's a black flag.
That's a black flag
So here we have in action what happens when you hit too many of the cones. You come in, you sit, have a chill down for a while, and then go on. Sarah Seddon has got the message. So come on, Tom and Dan, good luck. Nottingham A, whatever you do, don't get a penalty.
Well, they're currently running in the ever diminishing group. 45% of the field haven't got a penalty.
Yes.
Infer the opposite of that statement and understand why I may be about to give up on this spreadsheet. I really might.
Yes, over half the field now with some form of penalty to be applied post-race. And if you, as there's a penalty for Aston,
who were in fourth.
That's ABC.
They probably still are in fourth.
They were in the Northern. Are they?
Yeah, they're up in fourth.
Yes, they are. Yes. Okay. It's now 58% of the field who have incurred some form of penalty this race.
But at the moment, this is looking good. 15 minutes to go for Nottingham to take a long overdue victory in an overall round in the British Universities Karting Championship. Championship-wise, they're a little bit behind. They're currently sat in 5th place. So it would put them on a decent haul of points. And if I'm guessing their aim is to retain a top 5 rank in the championship going into 2019. I think that's the first time I've mentioned BUKC 2019. My goodness me.
I haven't thought about that year at all. That's a long way away. Let's not worry about it.
We've not talked intermediates. No. Looking good for Loughborough C. Loughborough C to take a double intermediate round win today. They aren't being challenged by Newcastle A, who were the only team who could stop them. That's Huddersfield completing a pit stop with Ollie Milner off and underway. They've not had a good race. I've not seen them figure up at the top of the timing sheets at all in this one. And I'm afraid
they had a black flag. They had an ABC takeout.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say I think this is the end of Huddersfield A's championship hopes. It just hasn't quite come together. They've had the speed for a lot of the year, but they've had a bit of bad luck as the 44 and the 79 have just needlessly run into one another. There's a penalty for the number 70.
That's an ABC on top of their ABC takeout.
Yeah. 1.4 seconds is the lead for Nottingham from Warwick. And in fact, that's changed because in comes Tom Seddon. A really, really good stint. And I think we're going to get a little word from him as well down with Jacob in the pits.
Yes, Andrew, Tom Seddon has just pitted in the Nottingham kart, number 4. As you can see on camera now, they are being pushed back out. He's getting the fuel cap back on, and it looks like a relatively smooth stop. I'm trying to catch Tom Seddon's eye, but he's walking the exact opposite way to where I am. He's now coming back. I'll see if I can wave him down. No, he's still facing the other way. He's looking at me, but he's got his visor down, so I can't tell if he knows I'm calling him over. I'll go grab him rather quickly. James, if you wait there for signal reasons. Come and have an interview. Okay, we have got Tom. Do you want to get your helmet? Oh. Tom, you've pitted from first place. Yeah. How does it feel out there?
Oh, I felt like we were about 15th. No, this track, we did a wet session. Well, I did a wet session this morning, and it was all right, but I wasn't too keen on it. And this in the dry is mega. This is a good track in the dry. Which part of the track is your favourite? Which one named corners do you like most? First two, coming into the first corner, flicking it side. Lee Bend and Lazarus. Is that what they're called? Yeah. They sound like your kind of names. Yeah, well, I named the corners myself because we only had numbers for them earlier. So let me run you through the track. You got Lee Bend first, and then you go into Lazarus. You come down to Harmonica, swing it round. Then you got Boomerang, taking you back, the double left-hander. Then you go through the shakies and into Bonnie Tyler, which brings you back onto the home straight. So yeah, you're a Lazarus fan? Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a Jacob corner, to be honest. Well, I'm not a big ego, as you know. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I think they're kind of reasonable corner names. Yeah, well played. We'll call the black flag box Jacob box. We can do that, yes. Fantastic idea. Thanks for talking to us. Hopefully the rest of the race goes well. Yeah, fingers crossed. Andrew, Howard, that's all we got down here. Back to you.
Not going to affect the final round position. So yes, there we go. 8th place on the road right here, right now, is the effective lead of the race because all these other drivers have got a pit, and we've still got just under 11 minutes of this pit window to run, so still plenty of time to make those pit stops. Newcastle C and Oxford Brookes C, I think, are making pit stops. Just seeing them going down the order. In come Warwick A, in comes drone man Dan and his flying machine. So Warwick A come out or leave the race having been in the pits. Come into the pits having been in the lead of the race. That's what I was trying to say. Alistair Irvine out of the kart. I've not seen Sam Cobb yet in this round, so I wonder if he's going to come out for this next section of the race. Although I've got a shouldn't be for Morgan. Maybe he was in the other race with Ben Street.
Yeah,
She's
no,
there.
he was. Yes.
He was. Thank you.
Ben Street in the pit lane.
Thank you.
Which is easy for me to say because I had the audio recorded. So fair.
Aston A then lead the race. Northumbria A now back up to second place as these pit stops continue to cycle through. I just saw someone enter into the pits at the back there. Oh, problem for Huddersfield. Problem for Huddersfield. Ollie Milner slow off the final corner. There's a black flag for Bath A. And, well, let me guess, cone penalty, Howard?
It could be either cone penalty or advantage by contact.
It's an advantage by contact second offence, you can see on the screen there.
Yeah.
So that's their day done.
I would also like to announce that 2/3 of the field have now incurred some form of penalty.
But crucially, still no penalty for Nottingham.
Crucially, still no
Thank
penalty
goodness.
for Nottingham. Now, let's talk about this actually. Nottingham, as we say, haven't won a round for ages. They did win the 24 hours.
Yes, they did.
The 24 hours. Oh, sorry. Direction for our mixing desk. Ah, that's right. There we go. Sorry, Morgan. Should we put my microphone near my face? As there's a black flag for Brunel. It's been a long day. Yes, Nottingham A won the 24 hours last year, so they have had success recently in the BUKC, and as you know, they've had many race wins over the years.
Exclusion
for Brunel
wow.
B.
Well, there you go. Brunel B have been excluded from the race for cone abuse. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either.
But it pretty much sums up how some of the drivers have been today. Let's catch a sight of this.
Yes, sorry, the 59's in, so there's the 25. That's Bath coming in for their black flag for, yes, ABC. So yeah, amidst all of this chaos, and there is a lot of chaos out there, Nottingham A are doing, do you know what, it's almost a fitting way, I wouldn't wish for all these penalties to happen, but it's almost a fitting way for Nottingham to take a round victory because they're the team who are always consistent and a steady, stable pair of hands at the front of the field, always there or thereabouts. They don't tend to have too much drama, they just seem to get the job done. And that is exactly what they're doing now. That is exactly what they're doing now, and that's exactly what they need to do for just another 8 minutes, as there's a black flag for BUKC for their second cone offence.
Yep.
BUKC currently running in 15th. I won't lie, mate, I've completely lost track of pit stops at this point.
Don't worry about it.
But we sort of established that BUKC are leaders effectively. In fact, I think it's basically just Aston A who owe us the stop, apart from anyone who's served a black flag.
Warwick A have got back out in front of Nottingham, though. Okay.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah. Leeds. To Leeds owe us a stop, mate. As whilst we're doing that, we'll pass down to the grid.
Down in the pits, number 69, Aston A. Pits from 25 seconds out in the lead. Tom Obi has just seen me. He's going to come over for an interview now. He looks tired. He looks very tired. He's thrown his seat on the floor for whatever reason. Disappointed in yourself. You were in first place, mate.
I've never had a penalty in BUKC before. I got 2.
What did you do?
I fired someone at turn 1.
Okay, recommend you don't do that in future.
And I hit a cone.
Sorry?
I hit a cone. Don't tell JB.
Tom.
I've never hit a cone in BUKC before.
You had a 25-second gap, so technically you were still winning, but obviously...
Really?
Yeah, you were 25 seconds in the lead.
Okay.
I wouldn't interview you otherwise, I don't really like you.
Sure.
But yeah, after that pit stop, I'm guessing you come out towards the top.
Oh, sorry?
I'm guessing you came out... Sorry?
We've just had a change for the lead, and it's a big one, because Warwick A have taken the lead of the race. Howard, do the check for me. Have Warwick got a penalty or not? because they've taken the lead on the road away from Oxford Brooks.
Yes, they have an
and they
advantage by
have got a
contact.
penalty. Okay, so still Oxford Brooks A leading the round. However, we've got to keep an eye on Nottingham, because what's happened here during the pit stops is Nottingham have lost, I reckon, about 10 seconds. They've slipped behind Leeds and they've slipped behind Birmingham. Now, thankfully for Nottingham, those two teams have penalties, so it's still Nottingham A winning the round. But this is crucial now for Nottingham. They cannot afford to pick up any kind of penalty whatsoever. So I implore, please, to anyone from the Nottingham team listening to us right now, if you could tell Dan Brewer, in whatever shape or fashion or whatever, just sit behind Leeds. Just sit behind Leeds, ride this one out, because they're well clear of Swansea C. Swansea C are still up in 6th.
Well, yes.
Don't tell me they've got a penalty as well.
They have got a cone penalty.
They've got a cone penalty.
But as there's a black flag for Swansea B, as we say that, so that's cone times 2 black flag.
This really has been one of the most balmy BUKC races I've ever commentated on.
Can I be harsh and say I think balmy is quite a kind word for you to use?
Okay.
I think it's, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave that job to JV. But put it this way: the spreadsheet. When you can check the results after this one, it may be interesting to see the table at the bottom of the results where all the penalties are summarised. That's all I'll say. Just saying it as it is. Anyway, on track, who are we looking at? We're looking at Brunel, who are not on the same lap as Warwick, and yet they're causing some issues for Warwick and Brooks A. And this is going to give Brooks A a run, is it, into turn 1. You can tell the frustration of Irvine as someone heads into the pits. I think that might have been Swansea for their black
warning for Irvine as
flag.
well.
Yeah, contact warning there.
Just to say as well, we've been talking a lot today about how Oxford Brooks A have put themselves under a lot of pressure with the 16th and the 10th in rounds 4 and 5.
Yeah.
My goodness, have they hit back.
Yes.
This is exactly what they need. Okay, they might not win the round today, but 59 points is still a very, very helpful amount of points at this stage of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's exactly what they need. And, so we're in the last 4 minutes of racing of the day, and I should say, on the whole, I think the entertainment value of the racing has been very good today. I think the adherence to the rules have not been as good, but I think Hooton Park's shown itself to be a really good circuit.
Yep.
It would be nice if it was slightly sunnier to start off with. But
it's the northwest,
the north,
mate.
and it's a kart season that takes place in February and March. We can't be too picky. What did we expect? So, on the whole, I think it's been very, very good. And if we don't get a chance to say it again, don't forget all official results. And given what happened with us this morning, we would like to stress everything we say is provisional.
With a capital P.
Capital P. In fact, the whole word is in caps.
And then a couple of exclamation marks after it
absolutely.
as well.
So provisional. For the official results, you go to results.alphatiming.co.uk, click on BUKC, and all of the results are there. Not just for today, for the entire season, and for quite a few seasons past and present. As who's that?
It's not Nottingham.
It isn't Nottingham.
That's not Nottingham
either. I don't want to. We're going to sound very bad, but we've been waiting to see when Nottingham would win a round for a long time here.
Brighton are one of them, and it's 2 intermediates.
Yeah.
Just to go through current provisional with a capital P scores on the doors. Nottingham A winning the round with 117 points combined from their 2 endurance races here today. That's 2 points clear of Oxford Brooks A, but they will take second and take 59 points for the championship. Oxford Brooks B are currently looking like they're going to hold on to 3rd place, so it's still a big, useful amount of points for them. 4th place would be Warwick. However, if there was something to happen to Oxford Brooks A to nullify the penalty currently for Warwick A, that would change that. So Warwick need to be able to get rid of that penalty, or the effect of the penalty, to get on the overall podium. Loughborough A are finishing 5th. Northumbria A have currently got around 6th place. In fact, no, that's going to be improved because they're 9th at the moment, so they're going to bump Loughborough down. Brooksby are up there, Aston A are up there, Exeter are going to be up there. The teams that are not up there, Huddersfield. Huddersfield, I think their championship for campaign for 2018 is done. And Birmingham A, who've had a lot of pace today, they're not going to be up there due to their incident in race 1. 1 minute to go, Howard. Pit window is now closed.
Yes, indeed. The pit window is now closed. Everyone has pitted. Warwick leader on the road, but have a penalty for advantage by contact. Brooks A, as far as we're aware, are your net leaders. And by the way, have we stressed enough yet that any results we say are provisional? Just with the number of penalties that need to be applied post-race here, it's difficult for us to say. But, as far as we know, Nottingham A may be on here for achieving something they haven't done for years. And if anyone from the Nottingham A camp know this, I would love to know how long it has actually been since they had a round win, because I have never found it going through results to something like, I don't know, 2008. So if any of you know, we'd love to know. But Nottingham here look like they may be on the brink of achieving their first BUKC Mains Championship rounds win for a very, very long time. Here we go then. We are on the last lap and we're rounding the last corner indeed with Alistair Irvine. He's going to cross the line first for Warwick A, but as far as we know, your actual race winner is Oxford Brooks A. Indeed, there in the number 2, crossing the line and taking some extremely important points for them.
And now we wait. And now we wait. Is this going to be the drought over? Yes, it is. Nottingham A win BUKC 2018 round 6. The drought is over. Nottingham A finally, after so many years, so many overall podiums, have taken an overall round win, and it is fully deserved.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know it sounds like, you know, Andrew and I have had an axe to grind over this race, but it really has been somewhat chaotic out there in terms of penalties today, and particularly in that last race. And Nottingham A have done what Nottingham A always do, which is keep a cool head, keep it clean, and pull out a consistent result. And that is exactly the kind of thing that gets you the victories.
Warwick A take it on the line, but will lose the victory virtue of a penalty. Oxford Brooks A take the round win, and by my very provisional calculations, take 2nd place in round 6. 3rd place for Leeds A, 4th place for Nottingham A, and enough to win the round. 5th place for Birmingham A, 6th place for Aston A, 7th for Leeds C. I've just spotted someone who's not there anymore. I can't see Swansea C. Oh, don't tell me they fell down late on. But Leeds C finished 7th, Brunel A 8th, Northumbria A 9th, Newcastle A. Good effort there by James de Havilland and co. I don't think it's quite going to be enough to take another win in intermediates, but I'm pretty sure they're on the podium in that class. They finished 10th. King's College A, good recovery from them. Impressive stuff from a team that will go to Clay Pigeon looking to win intermediates. They finished 11th. Warwick B were 12th. Coventry B were 13th. Exeter B were 14th. Reading down the rest of the order there, this is probably the most provisional order I've ever read. 15th place for Huddersfield A, 16th for Newcastle C, 17th for Cambridge A, 18th for Birmingham C, 19th for Southampton B, 20th for Southampton A, and probably the end of their faint championship hopes. 21st for Leeds B, 22nd for Swansea C.
Point on Swansea C. You know how you said, did they drop down?
Yes.
You know how I somewhat lost track of pit stops because of
they owed us 2 pit stops.
They owed us the 2nd stop.
But
so
still,
my apologies for that.
That's a great result for Swansea C.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For their season, that's a really good run, beating their own A team into 23rd, 24th for Bath A, 25th for Trent A. Then it was Nottingham B, Brooks C, Oxford A, Imperial A, Warwick E, Aston B, Bristol A, Manchester Metropolitan A, Swansea B, Brighton, and then Brunel B, who were rightly so excluded. We're going to pass down to the grid for the final time today. This has been Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell from Double Dash Motorsport Media in the commentary box for you. It's been a pleasure to commentate on today. We'll see you at Clay Pigeon. Jacob, over to you to close out.
Andrew, Howard, thank you as usual for your phenomenal commentary. I love hearing your voices. We're here with the race winner from number 3, Kyle Morby of Oxford Brooks. Race 3.
Yeah,
This,
you said,
I said race number 3.
Ah, that's good. Got you there.
Yeah, we'll all watch that back later and have a good laugh about it. Kyle, why don't we talk about the race? Getting dark, getting cold, losing grip?
It wasn't too bad, just back markers towards the end, just kept firing me off sort of thing, so that made it all a bit more interesting. But no, I had the pace, just couldn't, the guy with the pink lids, was that Warwick?
Yeah, Alistair Irvine of Warwick.
Yeah, he just managed to get away, and I got back up to him and then back markers again, but he had a 5 second or something, didn't he? So.
Did you know he had a penalty, or were you just not good enough to overtake him?
Cheeky. No, my dad told me actually he had a penalty, so I calmed down. Just I don't want to show him up, you know what I mean?
Good to know. And obviously not the best of mornings for Oxford Brooks, and not the Brooks A anyway, and not the best last time out. Are you still in the championship race?
Just about.
Are your B team your main competitors?
Yeah, at the minute, yeah. So, well, hopefully they won't have a good one at Clay. Actually, I can't say that. No, they will have a good one, but we'll beat them. We'll put it like that.
That's the same boat we wanted, yes. Well, yeah, it's going to be top at Clay. Obviously, yourselves, your B team, and I think Loughborough are still in the mix, not to mention a couple of other teams. Looking forward to it?
It's good. Yeah, Clay's a good track as well, so that'll be fun. There's a bit better facilities as well, so then I shouldn't have said that. Can you edit out?
Yes, we can edit live video, so it's all right. Technology these days is fabulous. We're going to get a good Brooks showing at the party on a Friday night.
Is it Friday night? When
Yeah.
Is that Sunday?
Drivers is Sunday, yeah. So we've got main Friday, rookie Saturday, drivers Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I can't see why not then. I think we're all staying over, so.
Like it. Here's Jamie.
Will your sister be there?
She's not coming, unfortunately. She's busy that weekend.
His sister's coming.
If your sister's there, though,
You'll be there.
be sure to introduce me. Jamie, quick word about your race. How does it feel to be back on top?
Yeah, it's nice to be back on top for once and not get a rubbish cart. But
Me and Carl have just been saying it looks like it's going down to the wire between yourselves, your B team and Loughborough. Yep. Who's your money on?
Hopefully us.
Hopefully yes. Mild confidence, I like it.
Well, it's the last round again, so probably someone else.
And you both in Drivers' Champs, yeah?
Of course.
Great. Can't wait to see you down there. Lads, cheers for talking to us, and congratulations on your own win. Race win. I don't know about the round. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First and sixth. Let's have a quick chat with Alistair. Alistair, so close but yet so far. What happened? Did you break the rules too much?
I think, as Seddon, came into the pits, I gave him a little tap, but he was coming in the pits anyway. I'm not really fussed because that was quite fun. I didn't really realise I was in the league because I was just told I was getting back and I was expecting to get out the kart. I was expecting to get promotion, apparently. I was expecting to get out the kart at my pit stop. I was just told, I just pushed back in the seat. I was like, what? So, yeah. What was it, second?
I believe it was second. I'm not quite sure how many penalties you got and what the gaps were.
I've been told it was second, I think. But I moved at Brooks, which is quite fun. I've never done that before. That's quite fun.
Can you go one better at Clay and win a race?
No, probably not. Oh, no,
Never mind.
Sure, I can.
Like it. And you entered into Drivers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, should be all right.
You should know. It cost you £70.
Did it?
If you did register.
Ben Simpson will watch this back and he'll find it quite funny, but that's an inside thing.
Okay, and obviously, can we expect a big showing from Warwick boys at the party on the Friday?
Would you expect otherwise? What's the theme? The theme hasn't been announced.
Well, keep your eyes peeled for that one.
What was it last year? Hawaiian?
It was Hawaiian last year. I think we're going a bit classier this year.
Is it suits?
Or will be revealed in due course.
Race suit and blazers. Oh, no.
Not sure about that mix. We'll consult our fashion experts. And
who is your fashion expert?
Me. That'd be me, yes. Yeah, we'll have a think about it, and it'll be announced relatively soon.
Fantastic. I will see you at Clay.
Thank you, Alistair.
Have you had your cake?
Not yet, no.
We have cake, but I was in the cart, so I can give it.
Looking forward to that. Thank you very much for talking to us. Okay, we have Andrew with us here, the commentator. He signed off already, but he's back now.
One final plug, hashtag PLD 2018, and entries are now full, but you can get yourself on the reserve list if you want to race at Wilton Mill. Brand new fleet of sodies at Wilton Mill as well. 3 weeks' time, 31st of March. If you want to donate, it's for the Institute of Cancer Research. It's text PLDT99, and then the amount of money that you want to donate. So if it's £5, space #5 to 70070. Thank you. Well done, Jacob. Well done today.
A very worthy cause, and thank you very much for that, Andrew. Well, that's just about all we got time for on the stream. We've had a fantastic day's racing this morning. Brooks be smashing the sprint races and the endurances this afternoon. We'll be announcing the winners on the podium very shortly. Thanks for watching with us. Thank you for tuning in to our live stream, whether you've been on Facebook, whether you've been on the Alpha Live YouTube. We will be back in less than 2 weeks' time at Clay Pigeon. We'll be streaming all 3 days, the mains on the Friday, the rookies on the Saturday, and the Drivers and Graduates Championship on the Sunday. It promises to be an absolutely fantastic 3 days racing. I really hope to see you then. For now, all that's left for me to do is to sing the closing song, which I wrote myself.